Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're one of the 3 people listening to Covino and Rich. I'm sorry, I was just kidding. It's 2 people.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't mind if I do.
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Rando down on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
All right, let's do this. Like Popeye and Brutus.
What up? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Rest in peace.
Covino and Rich.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Call him Gilbert.
Gilbert.
That was their
Gilbert.
little thing. That was Rich's inside joke with him.
Hey, Gilbert.
Hi, you big-headed buffoon!
Whatever, Gilbert. Oh, man. That was a bummer yesterday, huh?
I think the craziest part is how we were actually talking about him yesterday. Hadn't done a Gilbert Gottfried impression in 12 years. And bam, rest in peace. Let's rock out. Rocking out on Gilbert's behalf, yeah.
You know what,
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're one of the 3 people listening to Covino and Rich. I'm sorry, I was just kidding. It's 2 people.
I mean, he's right up there. Spot said this facetiously, but he's serious at the same time.
Sort of, yeah.
Because I was like, honestly, his voice is so classic, though. He's right up there with Morgan Freeman.
He really is.
And
as far
honestly,
as
as far as
he is.
recognizable,
as far as distinguishable
Yeah.
voices, there are few and far between.
distinguishable voices. You're
And
absolutely right.
He is one of those voices.
It's unbelievably recognizable, I think, worldwide. Like, oh yeah, that's the Affleck duck, or that's the bird from Aladdin. That's the parrot. Yeah.
and I think it's fair to say, I think I said this.
That's if you don't know. Well, that's actually comedian and iconic comedian Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, you said icon. I think I refer to it as probably the most iconic voice in comedy. Is there a more iconic voice? I can't think of one.
No, it's a sad story because if you know anything about Gilbert, he's in real life sort of a laid back, reserved guy and very shy. And if you've heard the stories in whether it be a documentary or comedians talking about Gilbert or his appearances on Stern, he's a small, sort of nice guy, family guy.
Of course.
Withdrawn, quiet, and then the mic goes on, and he's like, hi! And he's this maniac.
I'm Gilbert Gottfried.
And I don't think it's an act as much as it is just a different side of him, because he's such an introverted guy that when he gets a chance to be an extrovert, he was just next level funny and quick and didn't give a shit. That's what's funny or was unique about Gilbert Gottfried. He never gave a shit. And what's crazy on this show is, honestly, I feel like we're connected with the universe in some weird way, because I can't tell you how many times that we'd bring up somebody and that day the person died. It's not like a week later.
Not awesome.
It's happened so many times on this show.
Not good.
How is that even possible?
It's not a good way to be connected to
Way to go, Radio Grim Reaper.
I know. I feel like I'm in tune with the universe just a little bit. Yesterday's show, if you missed it, we started off with I was up all night like Gilbert Gottfried. And Rich probably rolled his eyes because
You've said that joke a million times.
Man, he's the only guy that makes that bad reference. And,
Up all night.
And I even went one step further. Spot yelled at me because I shouted into the microphone. Only to find out later that day he passed away at the age of 67 from a long-term illness. But definitely one of those comics that we grew up with.
No, keep going.
Oh no, I was gonna say I texted you a photo that was floating around yesterday that was super sad because it's Bob Saget taking a selfie of him, Louis Anderson, and Gilbert, and it's like, yo, this picture, which very much represents a lot of our childhood, is gone.
And that's Gilbert's comment on that photo when they died.
This photo is very sad now.
You're really good, Gilbert.
I know. Rest in peace, Bob Saget and Louis Anderson. And yeah, he's soon after. There was another
that dude
photo
was
like
a-
that,
was a
bro.
dynamo, though.
Wasn't there another photo like that floating around where it was like other legends just that all happen to be in the same picture and they're all gone?
I'm sure. I don't know which photo you're speaking of, but that dude was shot out of a cannon when he turned it on, and that's what made him hilarious. And he'd never held back, ever. Even when things got PC, he was not PC.
Rocket Dog said, "Stop bringing up my name. I want to live."
Yeah. Hey, and remember, too.
Can I show you for reference the start of yesterday's show?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do this.
Happy Tuesday. I was up all night like Gilbert Gottfried right out the gate.
That's terrible. USA up all night.
That was me. Up all night like Gilbert Gottfried.
Thanks for that.
Because of the wind blowing, man. That was yesterday. And then later that day, he passes away, or we find out, we get the news.
You're evil.
Coincidence? Man, it's happened too many times. It really has. So there must be a feeling in the air, like subconsciously, it's just on your mind, or I don't know, or just coinky dinky.
Yeah,
But it's happened too many times to feel like a coinky dinky.
True that. Well, Covino's got powers. Just use them for good. It's like, you ever know when a superhero's learning their powers? They have to learn how to harness it.
So odd, but rest in peace.
Like Hero Spot. Remember Heroes?
Yeah.
Your favorite show? He was the
Sad,
first
man.
to, Gilbert, best known for being a guy that tested the comedic limits of society. After 9/11, he was the first person that made a 9/11 joke and is credited with like sort of breaking the ice for comedy.
I'm not surprised. He's also,
And then he also got canceled.
yeah,
by
from
society.
Affleck.
For making a tsunami joke.
For making a tsunami.
So you
joke.
win some, you lose some.
Think about having the most cush gig ever. He said, Affleck, that's all he said. Whatever he did. And lost that gig. That was a big story. He lost that gig because he was so politically incorrect. And again, his Disney stuff that he did and just his years of comedy. That was a sad story to hear yesterday. I'm sure Stern's paying tribute.
Well, he sort of abandoned him.
Really?
Yeah, from what I heard.
Because of his
I
political
think he was
incorrectness?
no longer the regular he once was. So now it should
Wow.
be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
almost
wonder
like,
if he acknowledges that. Like he had to distance himself from his views or something to be a part of today's world. I don't know. That's interesting. But he had some great moments there too. And, he was in the building so often at SiriusXM. Of course, we had him on a few times.
he even met your cardboard cutout.
He even met my cardboard cutout.
I think that was the last time we had him on. So it was a long time since we had Gilbert on this show, but he did pose with your Covino cardboard cutout. A nice man, Gilbert Gottfried.
Maybe for the plusers, I'll throw that his interviews up on
Oh, there you go for the plus tiers.
on tier 1 and 2 plus.
Nice. Well,
Take a look back.
67. That's young. It makes you think.
Yeah.
Like that picture that Spot showed in the beginning of the show.
All those guys are too young to all be dead, in my opinion.
That means he was like 50. That was early on in our show. He was like 51.
Oh, I thought you meant the picture of him, Saget,
No,
and
I
Louis
meant
Anderson. I'm like, those
Navas,
are three guys that are all gone
and
young.
even that makes you sad too. You're like, damn, our childhood, where's it going?
Can we talk about my hair in that picture, though?
I like what you
I feel
said.
like you photoshopped that
There's
spot.
two eagles. There's an eagle sitting on Rich's head and an eagle on your shirt.
What do you, I mean,
And it's okay because Gilbert's family said,
And I know why you bought that shirt, by the way.
Gilbert's survived by, 2 kids and his wife, and they put out a statement that said, continue laughing. Gilbert would be totally down with that.
I know
So
why.
let's laugh at Rich's hair in this photo.
what are you going to
Well,
say?
I know why you bought the shirt because it says 1969 on it. So you were probably like thinking of the Mets.
Rich likes the Eagles.
I like the
And
Eagles.
you love the Eagles. So
What is with my hair, though? I feel like you photoshopped it. Or no, it's got to be a reflection to what is going on there.
So there's a bit of a shadow, a tiny bit. But even if you remove the shadow,
Poofs,
Oh, I
bro.
see what it is. The shadows
Side
are all.
poofs.
The shadow is totally making the top look like.
no, the shadow
No.
is
The
going
shadow
down
is-
and to the left.
Yeah.
No, the
totally.
shadows, the poofs. There's no
So the
poofs.
shadow-
The poofs are shadows.
The shadow ends
Okay.
here. So this
No.
right here is the shadow.
No,
That's
yeah.
it. But there's no
there's
shadow up
only
here.
no, if you look at the photo,
So
and
look
look
at
at
this.
everybody. Everybody has a shadow,
The shadow's
on the
going,
left.
The shadow's going down and to the left.
Everybody has a shadow on the left,
wish I
not
had
on the
tell us-
right.
I
So
wish
the
I had-
right side, you got side poofs like Larry from the Three Stooges,
Yeah.
man. Look at you.
This
Look
is,
at that.
This
Fred
right here.
you have a Paul O'Neill special, bro.
This right here is all you.
Wow.
All
Rich's hair in this
you.
photo.
If you squint-
honestly, bro, the funniest thing in this photo isn't Gilbert Gottfried.
If you
your side
if you
poof.
squint, it looks like you have Jerry curl.
Oh my
I think you do.
You have a Ben Savage afro, dude. That's hilarious. I'm wearing a Kentucky hat and an old Freebie SXM t-shirt. How weak. No wonder Gilbert, though, we were tool mags.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So that that haircut's only second to this one.
My brothers.
Gotta love that one. And
brother's
speaking of your
weak-ass
brother,
haircut.
one of our Gilbert Gottfried story has to do with your brother, because your brother thought he was going to see Gilbert, and he ended up seeing the comedian Godfrey.
It was a Red Hot Chili Pipers kind of story. You're
Yeah.
right.
There he is.
No wonder he thought only 2 people listened to our show. He's like, it's this guy with the side poofs. Look at this poof on that one.
Wow.
You got your hair, bro.
That's not a big poof.
Nah, it's a pretty good poof.
You were so dead set on a salon haircut.
So poof.
So poofy.
So poof. I mean,
I should have been more salon selective.
It was Rich, my cardboard cutout, which is just embarrassing. But I look back and I realize how frustrating that time of my life was.
Oh, can you finally admit that you were wrong in getting mad that your cardboard cutout didn't make it into one of the photos? And how ridiculous that is?
No.
Because you were just feeling
it's
left
not
out
that.
because of the life you were living at that time?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's what I'm acknowledging.
Okay.
You know, and as a co-host of the show, I'm like,
Santress.
well, you know, include me in it
Santress.
somehow. But
Santress.
no wonder Gilbert thought we only had 2 listeners.
Your dad set you up for a life of salons. That's really what
my
it is.
dad still goes to Santress.
He set
Oh,
you.
Teresa's been cutting my hair since she's 20 and she's 60. Wow.
60 years old.
Wow. Nanny poof poof for sure. I do look like there's a bit of Jerry curl going on in that first photo.
You got the Mel Gibson, bro. You look like you're straight out of Thunderdome.
It's a good haircut. Well, rest in
Rich
peace.
went to the salon, asked for the Mad Max.
I just think there's something so eerily wild that you mentioned Gilbert yesterday.
It's not the first time or the last. I hope it is the last.
Yeah, let's hope it is the last.
It happens too often, man. It's weird. But we remember him. Funny dude. Watched him all the time. You know, growing up, we all did. USA Network. He was always on that. Up all night. His comedy, his aristocrats jokes,
Yeah.
his off-color jokes. I saw someone share a joke that he once said in public and like got in trouble for it, like ruined the night. Remember that woman Lainey that used to bring guests on our
course,
show?
yeah.
She posted a story about how they were in a public setting. He said something about a son asked his dad, "Dad, could you give me $50 for a blowjob?" Or something like that. And they were all there waiting for the punchline. The punchline had something to do with like, depends how good you are. Something like that. Depends how good you are. And like it turned off everyone at the table. But that was Gilbert, right? So that in a nutshell was Gilbert Gottfried. He was offensive. Did I say that right? I hope I did.
Yeah, no, it was, can
I'm
see
sure
that.
he said it much funnier, but that was the premise of the joke. And it was just sad news yesterday. So
Yeah.
yeah, it seems like, you know, the people we grew up admiring are slowly going, and hey, every generation goes through it. Unfortunately, that's us now. People we
it's,
admire are getting older.
It's a coming of age. It's what happens. It's how our parents saw their older heroes and people pass away. We're seeing it now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sucks.
Some of them are still alive and kicking and doing great, but they're all older. Like, think of anyone you admired in the 80s when you were a kid. It's an old person now.
No, I know.
It is what it
It's
is.
frightening.
I saw a picture yesterday. It was like proof that Tom Cruise is a vampire. And it was Tom Cruise with the kid with the big head from Jerry Maguire then and now.
Is it real though? Because I've seen fake ones.
I think it's real.
Oh, okay.
It's Tom Cruise, and he just looks like Tom Cruise. Meanwhile, this guy went from being a little kid to like a fucking old guy.
You talking about the size of the human head still?
Yeah, that kid. A human head. That kid.
I always thought it was ironic that this kid with a giant melon would be known for talking about the size of giant melons in Jerry Maguire.
He's sort of Gaffigan-like. Really? Now. He looks Gaffigan-esque as a grown man. And Jerry Maguire is what, 96 spot? Is that possible? 96, 92, 94, 90, 98.
Sports, entertainment, and life is what we do. We got some rando
Trust your
news.
instincts. It was 96.
96.
Hope you had a great Tuesday night. We're halfway through the week already. April 13th. Let's go.
Can I ask you a question that you're going to say, yeah, moron, yes, and then we'll move on?
Sure.
So your answer will probably be yes, moron, and then we'll move on. So I'll just say that I know that the answer's coming. But I was at Target yesterday.
Yes, moron.
Not yet, Spot.
Oh, okay.
You'll know when it's your cue.
Okay.
And I was just getting the kids all stuff for their Easter baskets. I was doing that initial, like, all right, baskets, the stuffing, some candy, some
weird.
Toys, some clothes.
It's weird you put, is it like cornbread or what kind of stuffing?
Oh, yes, cornbread stuffing.
Cornbread stuffing?
All the little hay. I'm constructing the baskets.
You call it hay? I call it grass.
Grass. Okay, grass.
Isn't it grass?
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, like the little different color
Because it's green.
plasticky
a lot of
grass.
times.
Yeah, sometimes it's different colors. Yeah,
So much grass in this house.
getting all the fixins. Speaking of grass, I slept perfect last night again. So it's got to be those
course
El
you did.
Covino edibles.
Edible junkie, this guy.
I hope. I mean, I'll take them the rest of my life. There's no harm in that. So I get to the gardening section.
Till his house goes on fire and he's sleeping through it.
The gardening section. Mr. Brownthumb.
I am Mr. Brownthumb. And I saw all these.
I've been gardening with Mr. Brownthumb.
And I had never bought seeds before in my life.
Yeah.
Never. I go to the gardening section at Home Depot or Lowe's or like the nursery in town. You know, that's where you get your flowers for outside the house and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Lantanas.
You can buy
My lantanas, my gardenias, my rose bushes, my all my Dickie Green Thumb
they
exterior
also,
plants.
like Home Depot and I don't know where you're going. I'll let you finish. Go.
Did you try to get like a family discount because your mom works in the
No.
flower section now?
No, but I think I will at some point. Point is, I go to Target. I'm at Target, and
Yes,
they have a big rack of all the different flower seeds.
Nice rack.
And I had never planted tiny little seeds and have seen beautiful flowers grow. But when I tell you, they're not like seeds that you can even see. They're almost like they look like the seeds for forget-me-nots and
Seeds of love.
like all like little wildflowers and all these little seeds, Covino.
They're very
like
tiny.
$1 a packet.
Yeah,
But when I tell you, they look like poppy seeds.
Yeah.
So I sprinkled them all around the little flower beds out front. And I'm like, no, in my mind,
you buy
no way on earth.
Are these wildflowers?
Yeah.
Yeah. so
Wildflowers.
They make like so many wildflower type things. They have those packets. They have foams. They have little things you can lay down.
So are you telling me that seeds sprout?
Yeah.
Yes,
Do they?
dummy.
Do they?
Have I had luck with them? No.
That's thank you. That's my question. Of course they
Chia
sprout.
pet?
Yeah, chia pet works.
like
But
I've-
Bro, I buy wild bird seed, right? Wild bird seed. They're just bird seeds.
Yeah.
Wild bird seeds. I have a little bird feeder. And these birds made such a fucking mess that the little seeds would fly everywhere and get into my flower pots. Every little seed that went into my flower pots, just some bullshit weed that would grow from these seeds.
Well,
seeds planted
They
in
sprout.
soil get moisture, and
Well,
from the moisture they sprout, and
Spot.
then they grow the little roots.
Spot,
And
I just,
then plants come.
I just sent you a little chart of all the little seeds. I bought like $10 worth of seeds, and I threw them out front, and I said, you know what?
A lot of seeds.
If they randomly grow, let's have a bunch of like purple little wildflowers everywhere. But in my mind, no way on planet Earth did these seeds that were smaller than poppy seeds, and there was like 10 of them in a bag, like these the columbines and the wildflowers. I'm like, you think all of a sudden the front of my yard's gonna have these beautiful fucking flowers everywhere?
Echinacea. Forget-me-nots. They make these before that reason. Yes, Rich.
I know, but
Yes, dummy.
I've been gardening with Mr. Brownthumb.
Yes, dummy.
He
Okay,
plants
yes, dummy, they will grow.
poppies.
Well,
he won't leave me alone.
I know. I'll keep you in the loop on my really interesting
with his gardening.
journey of growing flowers. But in my mind, I'm like,
but you have to keep them. You have to keep so you like almost make little put them on the soil.
Yeah,
swish them around.
Get it? Yeah.
And then you water. You got to keep them moist because the water is going to keep them growing. We're entering hot season.
I take care of that. I told you that's my new dad hobby. I love gardening outside.
How about just say you were just amazed to see how fast it happened, instead of acting like you couldn't believe this happened.
I'm saying
I planted a seed and it grew.
Well, I feel like you go to Home Depot
Right.
or Lowe's or the nursery and you buy a flower that's already sort of established, you plant it, and then it grows from there. I've never in my life like seen a flower garden that like my mom or anyone did where it was
Rich
like
has a beanstalk growing in his backyard.
you know what?
It's
Then
insane.
you know what? Then fuck you guys. Maybe this is the greatest thing ever.
I planted a magic bean and it worked. That's how you're acting.
I mean,
A magic bean. You know what? There you go. Wait, seeds turn into plants.
That's
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like your approach deserves a kick in the face. I feel like you should say something along the lines of, "Man, I just planted them," and you'd be amazed. Like already, I got all these wildflowers.
Listen,
I can't
dude,
believe it.
I get it, but I'm
Okay,
saying
I get that.
I'm saying, but
Are you
I
acting like
I
this
plant
is a
bunch
miracle?
I plant a bunch of shit,
Right.
and my goal is to keep it alive and have it flourish. I've never planted a fucking seed that looks like a little drop, like 20 little droppings off an everything bagel. Like I'm talking like the little things. And I'm like, so you're trying to tell me?
Didn't you ever?
You're trying to tell me?
Didn't you ever take a seed?
When I was a kid, and it grew a little sprout.
You put,
and
it,
like
you put it in between the wet
Napkins,
paper
yeah,
towels.
paper
and you
towels.
put it in a
Spot,
bag.
I have. I bought my daughter those little like
That's
it's like
how I grow
it's cute. It's a
sunflowers.
cute little. It looks like the mini little pot, and a little sprout comes out of it. And you could. I get it. Like
Can I bring you sunflower seeds?
I did that also. I did sunflower seeds in the little where I my rose.
You never did
bushes
the milk carton with the avocado
But
pit?
here's the thing: sunflowers you should sprout first before putting them in the ground.
Well, see, that's you could information I could have known yesterday.
Go dig
Yeah,
them
but-
up. Go dig them up.
Even the wild bird seed, I honestly didn't know that would sprout the way it did. I didn't. I'm like, really? So any wild bird seed, I had to move all my plants.
I would argue you're like
Rich,
you're 2 to 3 weeks too late, but I still think you'll get flowers.
Rich, would you believe it? Everyone, yeah.
Yes,
well, that's
dummy.
why. Yes, dummy. You can say yes, dummy, and we'll move on.
I mean, Rich did preface the story.
I did. I guess I got my rose bushes. I got my lantanas. I got my gardenias. I got my azalea bushes. I got my curb appeal mint.
I've dropped,
But I just put these seasons for like filler, and I'm like, if these little purple wildflowers are filler, my curb appeal and value in the neighborhood's gonna grow
He used
up.
to plant a little, but a little wasn't doing so. A little got more and more. Oh.
I've dropped a lot of seed in my life. Nothing's grown yet.
I have a question, Spot. Well, I'm sorry. You'd be the greatest farmer. Hey, Spot, I do wonder.
Wait until your little poppy becomes a big poppy.
It's very sad.
Guys, I could be here. I could be here baseball tonight.
Imagine.
Baseball, you're gonna grow a little Dominican all-star.
You know what I'm not.
planted a poppy
You know what
seed.
I'm more amazed by,
Let me in.
and I'll wrap it this so we can talk
Let me
about.
in. It's
Let
cold
me
down
in.
here.
It's
I need
cold
some
down here.
clothes. You're gonna have a full-grown big poppy in your garden.
I just planted a little poppy just recently.
I could be here. And he's gonna be like, that is the Dominican guy with a space between his teeth outside.
And a really chiseled beard.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. He actually grew.
So
Get it? Big Poppy?
yeah.
David Ortiz?
Don't talk too much about Big Poppy.
I don't get it.
We don't talk about Poppy?
No, I don't want you talking randomly about people
No.
anymore. He got like shot a year ago, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's
imagine
terrible. Oh, bullet wound starting to hurt again. I can't believe.
Yeah, we are going to talk about sewing and baking next. Well, no, yesterday we talked about
Don't
baking
don't
baking bunny cakes.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh, you want to see the bunny cake update? Might as well roll with it.
I did, but let me finish my dumb statement.
I could talk about baking and sewing.
Flowers.
all day.
I think it's
It's not dumb. It's just like I said. I think you set it up poorly. Like you're just amazed at how wild it's gonna get.
I
And
just
how
don't know.
fast
I
it's
just don't know
happening.
how many people go that route because I feel like every
You
day
saw
at Home Depot.
Yeah.
You see people in the gardening section planting, and especially out here in LA where it's nice most of the year, right? My mother's big observation was, I love the fact that all year round it looks beautiful with plants and flowers. I'm like, yeah, that is an advantage of the West Coast. It's always relatively nice. There's not much dormant season as far as plants. And if you're a homeowner, hey, you know what? Some people have different hobbies. Know what mine is? Mine is taking care of the front of my house, the curb appeal. I keep trying to make it better and better. One thing I'm amazed at to wrap with.
You're so good at blow jobs. I mean, curb jobs.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened there.
Won't happen again.
Curb appeal. So at
Rich
Home
is the new
Depot,
host of Herb Appeal on HGTV. I mean, Curb Appeal.
I'm amazed that at Home Depot and Lowe's out here in LA, they have like baby citrus trees, like lemon trees or orange trees.
Got
or
one on
lime
my
trees.
patio.
No, but what I'm saying is I'm surprised that more people, they're like $49.99. Like, how does everyone not have a citrus tree planted? I know a lot of people do, but they don't.
Because not everyone.
But $50? I mean,
they require a lot of care, and maybe some people don't want like dead citrus in their yard.
I mean, think of how many people.
Because if they take then it becomes my biggest pet peeve where there's just a bunch of citrus lying on the ground attracting bugs.
I know, but my point is, we all grew up
orange
growing.
blossoms.
We all grew up growing like tomatoes and string beans and everything. Out here on the West Coast, every single person should have a fucking orange tree.
Orange blossoms. Oh, I love that smell.
I think so. I think
$50?
that's cool.
I mean, if you told me,
But
like,
Spot saying it's a commitment. Like I grew up having a pear tree. There was no partridge in it,
I was gonna say, it was there, eh? No, okay.
but there was a pear tree in my childhood house, and I remember my dad just always bitching about picking up the pears because they'd sit there and bees would come, and it's like it's a commitment.
Okay,
That's what
all right,
Spot's
fair enough.
explaining. You don't like. There's a lot of old people that
Yeah,
live in
like-
these houses.
Yeah.
Who's picking up all their fucking lemons and
Like
oranges
Rich.
all the time?
I'm sure you wish you could switch out your productive lemon tree for an orange tree, but like
My orange tree is seasonal. The lemon tree has no joke. When I say it's probably like count the jelly beans at a festival. If you try to count the lemons in that tree, what, 700, 800, 400? I don't know. Stupid. Yeah, you're right. It's
by the way,
what do you do with them?
Never count corks in a jar. Chances are it's for a timeshare. Just letting you know.
Oh yeah. Probably.
It is amazing to back Rich up if you really want to play along. It's amazing to see even the amount of lemons that he has on his little tree. Like, wow, this tree is busting out all these lemons, huh? Look at this tree hard at work, making all these lemons.
Hard at work.
It's kind of amazing. It is.
You know what? No, to make it a little more manly.
Why don't you get a
and
fig
less
tree?
about what?
You should get a fig tree,
I'll get whatever you tell me.
You wanna
Let's
talk
do it.
about
This is
melons
my
then?
hobby. Now you're talking.
an avocado tree.
Now you're talking.
Now you talk about surround sound in one ear and out the other. Pun intended. You talk about planting. Yeah, Spot. What should we
Get
get?
yourself a fig tree.
Fig tree. You gonna make me some figgy pudding?
Sure. And pomegranates. I see those a lot in the area. Those flourish.
They sell those a lot.
Avocado, of course. You got to get an avocado tree.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah. Maria Menounos has all those. She has a ton of like different types of oranges, lemons, and avocado trees.
It's beautiful. I know. Because I actually use the oranges. My oranges do not go to waste. The lemons go to waste, but every day I would have an orange a day.
I make lemon simple syrup with your lemons.
Well, anyway, there you go. Long, boring story short.
Seeds grow.
Seeds grow.
You could have told that story in 2 words.
Seeds grow. The manly angle of this is
Melons.
when I'm in the melons. That's
Melons.
it. No, when I'm in
How you
Texas.
melon smelling?
When I'm in Texas,
Speaking of, how was Jordan's birthday?
Good.
we're gonna get to it.
All right.
Oh, speaking of melons. Oh, okay.
Sorry. Couldn't help it.
When I'm in Texas and I go to the farm, my father-in-law has his dozer, and
I'm the farmer of Seville. Not the barber. You're the
I'm
farmer.
the farmer of Seville.
He's the farmer. Because you're like alfalfa. I'm the farmer of Seville.
Honestly, I could have dreamed the last 10 seconds of that conversation and believed that it wasn't real.
Yeah, what is this guy talking about? Who the fuck are you, bro? Where's Rich Davis? I met at the beach in the early 2000s. What are you talking about? Talking about blowjobs and tatties. Now you're talking about gardening and
I
farming?
went to the farm. When I would go down on the farm, the
Talking
dozer.
about fucking milking goats now? What are you talking
Honestly.
about?
What happened to the Rich Davis that talked about the Mets and blowjobs?
What happened?
Tell me about Jacob DeGrom and butt
Now you're
sex.
talking about sucking Ben's boogers and gardening and lantanas?
He went down on the farm. Something about the dozer. That's all I got.
So when I go down to the farm in Texas with my father-in-law, he has his bulldozer, he has his dozer, and when I tell you, he spends, Covino, like all his time bulldozing all the brush, right? Like weeds and like, I don't even know what they're called. Sarah knows the name of it. There's a type of like, it's a type of like shrub that just grows. When I tell you this guy clears the field like it looks,
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
it looks perfect. Like, Covino, if you imagine like clearing out a whole area and you're like, now it's just soil. You go back a week later and I'm like, how on planet Earth is there like 3 foot high fucking, what is it called? Mesquite? No. Might be. Could be. Mesquite. Yes, mesquite trees. Jonesy. Everywhere. When I tell you this shit grows like, I'm like, you must be able to see it grow. Like if you stared at it like,
You sure it's not the brush hog? Like Raymond Shriver says?
brush hog.
Brush hog. Hey, brush hog everywhere. God diggity darn it. Dang damn it. I just plowed out my dozer last week. Got it, brush hog. Woo! Brush hog ruined my family.
So I have no more farm bulldozer or gardening stories.
I want to hear more about your adventures on the dozer.
On the dozer.
Yeah, mesquite. By the way, can we talk about
Conversation's a dozer.
what I want to bring up today, guys? I wanted to talk about the. I wanted to talk to you guys
just want to talk about whatever is on the top of your fucking noggin. That's what you want to talk about. And when I say that, I mean that eagle that landed on your head
during the Gilbert Gottfried photo.
during the Gilbert Gottfried face.
The dozer.
Talk about whatever comes to the top of your head,
Well, that's why I'm talking about my dozing days in New Braunfels.
like that eagle that landed right there
What is
and
that?
perched on your noggin.
Yeah, if you told me that someone put an animal on my head before this picture, I'm telling you. Oh, and the logos behind it, I think, are deceptive.
No,
No,
it's your
dude.
head.
There's
Yeah,
a shadow?
I have like a short haircut there, and that's all shadow.
No.
By the
that
way,
is long hair.
all
I
shadow.
I told you, look at the angle of the shadow in the other three people, the other two people.
I'm wearing a Kentucky hat, so I should be smacked
And,
too.
and a free serious shirt.
And a free serious orange shirt.
Well, this reminds me of the time I was hunting. I was out at the deer lease, and no, I'm kidding. Great hair, I know. Let's move on. I asked for the Kramer at Sandris. So I am amazed at how this mesquite grows. Like, I'm talking like in a way where I really feel like you could watch it grow. I feel like you'll see it.
I can picture that. That's cool. That is amazing, right? You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Well,
That
then you
dude just
realize
cleared that out.
and to tie it into something that we see all the time in
You know
movies.
what it's like for me? It's like when you get a sweet, clean fade. Like that shit was razor's edge clean.
Yeah.
He went skin. You want skin? You want a skin fade? Yeah. Keep it tight.
Keep it
High and
tight, bro.
tight. Skin fade. And then like your hair, just like this brush hog. Hair's like, what's it called? Mesquite. Ooh. Like 2 days out, you gotta, your hair's all grown back.
I like to brush my hog sometimes.
Hair's growing like a brush hog. Like a weasel on a woodpecker. Woo! Get on the dozer, Richie. Let's go. So I get it.
Honey mesquite trees can grow 40 feet a year. Wait. Yeah, no, this shit is, when I tell you, unbelievable mesquite. Let's move on.
What's mesquite?
What is mesquite?
Is it made of mosquitoes? Mesquite.
All right,
Jerry
done.
Seinfeld.
I'm done for the day. That is
honestly, the more you go on, it's kind of funny. So continue.
No, I'm gardening.
Your love of it, which is, it's all great, right?
It's my
it's
new
just kind of funny when you think about
thrill.
it. Yeah, you're very passionate about it. You found something you're into.
But you know what? I was
and
into it.
And there is something fascinating about it, right? It's relaxing.
I was into it.
It's a great hobby.
I was
it's
into
fun
it
to see things grow.
When I owned
I'm
a
with you on
house,
that.
when I owned a house in Staten Island with my ex Kristen, I do remember my backyard. I did prioritize like making sure the flowers were right and everything. But it's always been something I care about. But I'll give you one last gardening observation.
Oh.
And it's not about Brett Gardner and how he's not back on the Yankees yet.
This guy used to talk about getting hose in Vegas,
Right?
getting hose at Home Depot.
It's true. So, much like a haircut, Covino made a great observation years ago. He said, take a look at everyone you know.
Oh, they chose that?
They chose that.
They chose that look.
Like you look at some guy with a Jerry Buss comb over in
he looked in the
winning
mirror and he
time.
was like, that.
There's some guy that's like, yeah, I'm going to, like I chose the Cypress. Everyone you look at.
Funny.
You woke up and chose shit side poofs every day.
It's a funny thought. Like,
Todd, at one point, you were like, I'm going to shave my head and have a goatee.
Yeah.
Like at one point, you were like, that's what I'm choosing.
Yeah.
At one point, you chose, I'm going to clean shave and have an afro.
I looked in the mirror and smiled like, this is the best I got right now.
Remember my last haircut? I chose
what I
chose the Kelsey. I actually
No, but
actively
that
chose
looked
the
good.
haircut.
There were times, though, where like
I'm getting a cut again.
at
next
one
week.
point, Covino's like, I'm going to look like a matador.
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
Going for it.
So when you look at someone, just know that they chose that hair color. That was like a
No one chooses to be bald just for the
Yeah.
sake of conversation.
yeah, but
but you can choose to shave what you have left.
yeah, no. You see a guy that's like Baldo Ronaldo and he still's got the Costanza.
He chose that.
He chose that. If you see a guy that's
Like Alex Berman, he should just go for the clean head shave.
I don't know, maybe he should. He got a beard now.
Haven't seen him in a minute.
Our boy Jerry Buss from Winning Time, the late Jerry Buss, Dr. Buss. There's that episode in one of the first few episodes. Well, there's a scene in one of the first few episodes where they show how he has like an elaborate Donald Trump comb over type of do going on.
I mean, a lot of bald people in that era.
And he was like the rich guy that just like, he essentially like sculpted it. And John C. Reilly should get an award for this.
I agree. Yeah,
I mean, he is
great. Will Ferrell would have never been able to pull that off.
The same way.
They
There's
made the
something-
right choice. John C. Reilly's more dynamic.
And I hate and love the fact that Magic Johnson and former Lakers are like very anti the show. It makes me like it more, but also at the
I
same
feel like
time.
they have to say that, but they have to like it. Get out of here. I'm not buying into that. I'm
So
not.
everyone chooses their haircut.
You know what's odd then? What's his name? Fox, Laker.
Rick Fox?
Rick Fox hosts the after show. So all the Lakers are mad at him now?
I
Man,
mean,
Rick, you're selling out. They like that shit. They just can't admit it.
Magic Johnson, so far what I've watched, they've just made him, worst thing is they've made him look like a really likable guy, but he's a womanizer. But that's like so many famous people.
That's almost as shocking as Rich finding out seeds could grow.
Get this, guys. Seeds could grow like mesquite on the farm.
Magic Johnson was a womanizer?
You don't say.
No way.
So people also choose their curb appeal. Like, look at everyone's home. If someone's got like a bunk front lawn and no flowers, and
I think about
like
that a lot.
like a shitty, like their
I'm
side, like
they're okay with that. Like they're okay with that.
Like
How?
I'll pass a house in a nice neighborhood, and like their vinyl siding or their wood siding, whatever they got going on, is like dirty. Like, yeah, you power wash that. Like, I don't know. To me, it's the same as a haircut. You walk down a neighborhood and you're like, these dead flowers and these shrubs, they haven't got their lawn cut. They don't have lawn care. Like, they choose this.
Or like a simple touch up, right? Like the paint's chipping, or it just looks like shit. Like, man, how do they allow that? I'm with you on that. I think about that often. People don't care. I walk by a place every day and they have blinds, but the blinds are broken. Like some criminal lives there and he's always looking out his window where the blinds are cracked, like they're cracked blinds. Like, this guy, whoever works there, can't chalk up the $8 at Target to buy new blinds just to hang them up. He's like, nah, fuck that. It's the landlord's responsibility.
Sometimes
he chooses to have the front of his apartment look like a criminal lives there. Who's there? Ripping the blinds down.
I'm constantly amazed by people.
Looks like someone's beating their wife inside.
I agree with Raul. Spock, do you mind moving? You have a window over the feedback. Raul said,
Can you picture what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
the blinds
of
are all
course.
broken and
curb appeal says a lot about someone.
Haribo, like those gummy bears.
I get everyone's on a different budget, and some people are like, I just bought this house. Give me a minute to get it fixed up. But curb appeal to me, someone's got cracked blinds, and someone's got siding hanging. Sometimes you see someone's like, they haven't cut their lawn in weeks. I remember Ian Kennedy hit us up a while back. Remember he said his neighbor, he wanted to volunteer to cut their lawn because he's like, you're ruining my neighborhood vibe.
Five.
I think curb appeal says a lot about someone. Broken. Like someone has a piece of a broken fence. You're not going to replace it? Come on. I said something to my mother-in-law once, and she fixed it. Sometimes I think people just don't realize it because they're so used to it. On my mother-in-law's front door, she had a no solicitor sign because I guess there was a lot of annoying, like, hey, want to join our church or whatever? So, but she wrote it in magic marker on a piece of paper. In my guess, maybe in like 1990 something. Like, Cindy, you got like a yellow piece of paper with your handwriting that says no solicitors. I was like, can I make you a new sign, please? And like, I got back from like lunch and she had like printed out and laminated a new no solicitors thing. I'm like, see, sometimes you just need to give him a little nudge.
You're like Bob from La Bamba when he painted all those Richie and his flying guitar advertisements.
It's true.
These look like shit. Rich had to save the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll back you up on curb appeal. It says something about you.
It
Like,
does.
how do you present yourself? This is what you're
It's true.
advertising? What a slob. So I'm with you on that. I like curb appeal. I do.
Yeah. So
You know what I like, Rich? A nice, like, fresh mulch. I feel like you need some of that.
it's really funny you should say that. I'm waiting for my mom. My mom, who loves curb appeal
Because you
stuff as
just
well.
have, like, it's just dirt.
Yeah, no, but my flowers?
Yeah.
My mom
I think
was like,
once you finish
oh.
it off, it's like,
no, my mom said, she goes, Richie, because my mom's coming back for a week. I'll give you a Marion
my
update.
question is, do you want like that? Do you like it dark or do you like it like that reddish?
That's what I'm thinking. You tell me. We'll take a look outside when you
Nah.
leave. Because my mom's like, Richie, you know what would make it like finish it off?
Yeah.
You should put some nice mulch underneath your roses.
Yeah.
I've been
Like,
waiting for it.
Like
I've been
wood,
waiting
wood
mulch.
chips, wood chip mulch. Yeah.
I imagine, but it darkens over time. It gets a little darker.
Yeah, but they sell it dark too, though.
There's different colors.
Yeah, it's different kinds.
Yeah, Matt Franz knows what I'm talking about. He black mulched his whole house. That shit could look fresh.
You know what I'm saying? Rich,
See,
he's just got dirt.
this is the life we're talking about now.
Hey,
Hey,
listen,
listen, we have to
one of my properties.
we have to mix it up. You know, so we spend 25 minutes on mulch. You know what? And gardening. We've talked about everything on this show over the last 15 plus years. In fact, yesterday I thought about it when Jordyn celebrated her 30th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
How we've been doing this show since you were 30, and
I celebrated
and you're
my 30th
40
birthday. We
you're
started.
45 years old.
I was 27, so we celebrated my 30th on the show.
And I celebrated my 30th,
Yeah.
and I just think it's wild to think how long we've done the show together and how we've talked about every topic from
hose
to hose. We really have talked about everything from curb appeal to getting like your first apartment. We've talked about everything
from
from
curb
like
stomping to curb appeal.
we've talked about creating a MySpace page to are we too old for TikTok? We've talked about we're talking about a 20-year journey with you guys. That doesn't blow your mind sometimes?
Does all the
Like
time.
we started doing the show and you had a shitty flip phone and there was no social media. You started this show and you had a shitty flip phone, no social media, and the only way we knew if people were listening was if they called.
It's true. Uh-oh. Watch out, Chip and Joanna. Here comes Covino and Rich. Thanks for the feedback.
That's what I'm saying. I'm all about. Let's do it. Let's start flipping houses on the side.
Let's do it.
It's a bad time though because real estate's so high and interest rates have gone up a little bit. I don't know. And the inventory low. Do you think you'd have the patience for that spot? Because you feel like you get things done quick. Spot's like, I would have done this, this, and this. So we should do it, no?
But flipping is different than having your own house.
Yeah,
but I'm not doing certain things to somebody else's house. I'm not setting them up with surround sound
If you watch any of these
and a rain bucket.
if you watch any of these HGTV shows, Cove, I mean, I know it's TV. We've talked about this before, but their margin of like failure doesn't exist on TV. I think I looked it up once, right? Wasn't there one episode ever of Flip or Flop in like 10 plus seasons where he broke even or didn't make a profit? Like it's unrealistic on TV.
Anyway. I mean, he's probably a nice fella, but I don't like him.
Tarek?
And I don't like his wives either.
No. Sarah and I love
That's the
Tarek.
weakest show
Sarah and I
on
like Tarek a
HGTV.
lot. We don't like
I
Christina.
don't think they're likable. They're not my
Tarek-
kind of people. I like
really?
Old Town.
Okay. All right, I like Tarek. I think Tarek's great.
I think
they're-
the show
and they're
the show's
Southern
entertaining, but
California
you're right.
houses.
It's like, oh man, this is we made the worst deal ever on this one, and then it always ends up that they made some sort of killer profit.
So Sarah and I
every time.
Spot, if there's I don't want to get flagged, but Sarah and I watch an episode. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, if you watch these shows, Tarek has a new show where he sort of guides new flippers, like he's their coach essentially. There were these two hot bimbos that were like, "We're gonna try to flip a house," and they were fucking what appeared to be clueless.
I saw this one. The two
a blonde girl and a brunette.
Yeah, I saw it. Swear to God.
Yeah.
And they had a fucked up driveway.
Yes. Yes, they made every mistake along the way. Their contractor looked like someone out of a porn.
Too.
They were smoke shows.
Yeah,
and the guy
gay porn, by the way.
And their contractor looked like someone out of a gay porn.
Yeah.
He came to the lot and he was like, "Hey, I'm here," and he was wearing one of those like
Tarek's role is to guide them because they're entry level flippers that really don't have any clue on how to do this, and the contractor's sort of bamboozling them. And the brunette's father was the one that
funded
put up all the money.
It was.
But I saw this a long time ago.
Yo, when I tell you, they made every mistake along the way possible, and then at the end, Sarah's joke. Everyone's joke, but Sarah always loves to turn to me, and she's
they
like,
still failed though because he was like, "Look, you got to have these patios, these balconies. They didn't put balconies on those big windows.
I know."
Got to have space.
They make every
curb appeal. People like that.
Mistake possible, and then at the end, Sarah and I are like, "Yeah, but you know what's going to happen because it's a HGTV show." It's like, no, and Tarek pops on with the voiceover. After making every mistake they possibly could have made, the market really treated them well, and Smoke Show 1 and Smoke Show 2 stand to make $280,000 in profit. On to their next house to flip, and you're like, yo, they made every mistake possible. And flipped the house for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
A lot of money into that. Yeah, that's my least favorite show on HGTV. Look, what Rich is discussing here may be confusing to some, but it is interesting shit. I love it. I do love it.
Well,
so you're not alone. I watch these shows. I notice these things. I just don't discuss them with the passion that Rich does. But
yeah, Alex is right. Alex Berman must have watched the same one because he goes, one of their dads charged him a pretty hefty interest on the loan. Like the girl's dad charged them a pretty penny. Everything is scripted on those shows. There was a lot of articles that came out that once they're finished, they leave those houses very incomplete.
When you said pretty penny, I thought of Stone Temple Pilots, and then I thought of Abe Lincoln. So there's my Abe Lincoln thought of the day. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, he already died, so we're safe.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
All right. Well,
we all have one Abe Lincoln thought a day.
I'm a mile a minute, so I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna chill.
No, you know what, man?
I just have a lot of thoughts today.
These are thoughts I keep to myself. Rich is sharing them on the radio. That's the only difference.
I have something funny to share with you in a second.
Okay. But I have a question for you. All right. Does this go with what we're talking about?
No, because I have the perfect transition from this conversation.
Go ahead.
But I have an update because
nobody loves me.
Because
next week you're conservative for the trannies.
Next week you're in Mexico.
Yeah.
And side note, they asked us if we wanted to fill in for Dan Patrick next week on Fox a few days. Bummer, no big deal. The boss at Fox is like, Covino, go have fun on vacation. Don't sweat it. Like, there's gonna be plenty of opportunities. So don't.
That's exactly the conversation.
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him too. He's like, "Hey,
Here,
Covino."
I'll tell you his response.
He goes,
right
"Covino,
now.
you never. I know your work ethic. I know you never go away. Don't sweat it." Dan, Colin, Gottlieb, all these guys are going to take vacation this summer.
That's the right decision. I told him, look, man, I thought about it, and I tried to figure out if there was any possible way to really make this happen.
Should I patch in from Mexico?
At a quality level, for a big show. He goes, that's the right decision, man. Not a problem at all. And don't sweat it for a second. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, so he said...
But it's a bummer.
Yeah, he said there'll be a lot of Gottlieb, Cowherd, Dan Patrick fill-ins. And, like we said, knock on wood, there's a bigger plan at play, hopefully, at Fox for all of us. But I just got note that I said, well, I'm still around if you want me for something. I'm going to be on Wednesday.
Oh, by the way, you know what he said? I did say, hey, this goes with the conversation.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm not one, as you know, because these guys believe in us already. And he even said, you guys don't have to sell us on you.
Yeah.
We love you guys. I said, I'm not one to ever turn down work. So this is very hard for me. In fact, I'm the guy rolling my eyes at all these people turning down work. I don't even get it. Like, you just get, how am I getting all these shifts? Because you're turning down work?
Mm-hmm.
That's always weird to me. And I go, but I don't think I can. Let me figure it out. Either way, Rich is down, and I totally support that. I was like, what's good for Rich is good for us, and if he wants to do it, that's cool with me. Just so you know, he's like, man, love that. I love that attitude, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Look, don't go crazy worrying about it. We're good, and we're gonna get you on. So what's the update?
The update is I'm gonna be on Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
filling in for Dan Patrick. Me and Ryan Hollins.
Oh,
how cool is that?
That's awesome.
So, like,
By the way, that's awesome.
I said to him, I said, listen,
Better make sure he doesn't one-up you.
I said, I think I could roll solo.
With the Danny G.
I said, if you got Danny G, Spot, and Bobo and our crew in there, I think I could roll solo for 3 hours just because it's baseball season and that's one of my strengths. But I said, if you have a co-host in mind, I'm like, Covino and I are a team, but whatever, like I'm here. You got me, whatever you need me for. And he knows that we're pals with Hollins, and he goes, we may incorporate Hollins as our basketball dude in the mix once in a while. And I said, perfect. NBA playoffs are starting. I know baseball. 3 hours.
Oh, that's cake.
If it's not you, Hollins is the answer. That's
the
great.
thing with stuff like that, guys, you have to be comfortable with the person you're working. You really do, or else it's like noticeable.
Like, even if it's someone that I respect, if they're like, Rich, you're going to do with Jonas Knox, like, I'd say, oh, cool, I respect him, and he's a good broadcaster, or Ben Maller, but I would not
There'd
feel...
be no chemistry, there's no comfort. Ryan Hollins is a really nice guy, so that's awesome, man. And hey, if there's anyone... Yeah, if there's anyone I want filling in for me, Hollins is great.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So, hey, that's great news, man.
No, but honestly, and I'm sure we'll be...
And I'm super happy, too, because that gets the Covino and Rich brand still out there on a big platform. And, they're going to think I'm Pete Richards and be like, Covino in Mexico. People are going to have this idea that I'm some sort of like jet-setting cool dude.
I'll tell people Covino and Rich and for Dan Patrick, but instead of Covino, it's Ryan Hollins because Covino's in Tulum with bitches, is what I'll say. Is that
all these people who don't know me, you're like, Covino must be a guy with a yacht. He's pretty baller. That's
Swimming
awesome.
in cenotes with biatches.
Yeah. He's probably doing the backstroke in a cenote. Can't wait for that guy to come back. But that's great news. See, that's a happy ending. I like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Hollins is a really good dude.
I'll be honest, my deep down inside, I told Sarah last night, I go,
even though he thinks I'm the Indian guy from No Doubt.
I'm going to bring that up, actually.
Oh, please do.
So
yes, please. That's so funny.
Yeah. I said to Sarah last night, I go, I think if I needed to, I could roll solo. Clearly, Covino and I are always best together, but I think I could on a sports show where there's a lot of breaks. I'm like, I could roll solo if I needed to. But if they put me with someone, I might feel more comfortable by myself than with someone.
I agree with you.
Like me just riffing off of like Danny G and Spot or something might be more comfortable than like, hey, Rich, we're teaming you up with Fox reporter, Johnson. The fact that it's Ryan Hollins.
Perfect.
Oh, cool. All right. So you know what? I represent Covino and Rich while at the same time.
And if you don't know who we're talking about, former UCLA standout NBA pro for 10 years, 7-footer, who we did our TV show with on ESPN. Like one of our first great bonds we made at ESPN. So it's nice. He's also the voice right now of the Houston Rockets.
That is great.
Courtesy of Super Agent Sean Wyman. So that's pretty cool. That's great news.
I feel like that was Super Agent Sean Wyman's workings.
Good.
Because Wyman represents Hollins too. So there you go.
But I'm glad. Here's the learning lesson.
Should I ask Ryan Hollins if he's also in the Sevens Club like we speculated? 7 foot, 7 figures, 7-inch penis.
Bring it up.
One of the few people on planet Earth.
I have to back Rich up on this. Think about it. The boss texted us with a great opportunity, right?
It's a good hypothetical.
Now, I could have texted back and said, sorry, thanks for thinking of us. I'm in Mexico next week. Simple answer. But this is a Dan Patrick fill-in. Like millions of people are listening. And it's a big opportunity. And I think that's where our future is. That doesn't affect anything here on our Patreon. But I said, hey, let me know when you have a minute to talk. Sure, give me a call around 1:45. It was so much better. And
telling you,
so much more personal to have this conversation about what was going on and how I was torn and in this situation. I completely understand, man. Thank you so much for explaining. Just get back to me later and please, trust me, just take the week off. Enjoy yourself. It was so much better than that meaningless text that I could have sent.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I had that
not interested.
Yeah, I mean, it meant so much more. And you're able to explain yourself and have a quick conversation. It's so much more meaningful than some fucking meaningless, text and a hug emoji.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah,
so every once in a while, even though I don't like a phone call, Rich, every once in a while it has to be.
And you know what you got to do too? This is a note. If you're on a team at work, or let's say a coworker or a business partner or someone that you always have each other's back, right? Like, I'm sure people do that at their office. Like, yo, you always get my back, I get yours, right? Like, I'm sure people have had those deals with coworkers.
Sure.
Like, yo, if anyone ever asked about me, you give rave reviews, and I do the same for you, right? Right. Well, Covino and I are a team, so I made sure to hit up the boss yesterday and say, listen, it's so terribly coincidental that next week, because I even threw in all the stuff. I'm like, between COVID, his divorce, everything Covino's gone through over the last years, this guy hasn't stopped working. I'm like, this guy, I don't think, I'm like,
he was dying to bring up the divorce.
well, because that's relatable. It's relatable. One of the big bosses and Covino bonded over divorce at lunch.
Yeah, I
was like, listen,
I also wanted to explain, like, it's very rare that I'm not around for work.
I was like, Covino, this dude, I don't know if I've ever seen this guy pass up a work opportunity that was big, because he's always working. And I was like,
yeah,
I was like, you can't blame him. He's going to Mexico with his girlfriend who just turned 30, and then we started reminiscing about when we were 30, because him and I are the same age, the boss.
Yeah.
And I thought of a fun fact, because he's a Minnesota guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, do you associate years? I was like, what year were you 30? He's like, 30. What year was I 30? I was 30 in,
The only year I associate is I was 17 in 94.
And then we said,
That's
Jordyn,
I graduated high school.
I said, yeah, Covino's girl turned 30. So she was born in 92. I was like, you remember where you were in 92? He's like, yeah. He goes, that was a year removed from my Twins winning the World Series. And I go, yo, who was more your team? The 87 or 91 Twins? Because they were both World Series teams. Would you believe in that 4-year period, there was only 7 of the same guys on the roster? Not one pitcher was the same?
From 87 to 91, not even Jack Morris on the Twins?
Not one pitcher. We're talking about a 25-plus man roster.
Wow.
4 years apart, 2 World Series. Not one pitcher was on both teams.
So the 7 is
It was
Gary Gaetti.
I think Gaetti
Greg
and Puckett.
Gagne, Puckett.
No, Gaetti and
Gagne wasn't on the team?
Gaetti had moved to the Angels.
Gladden.
No, he was not on the 91, I don't think. Kirby Puckett is the only name you'd recognize.
91.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow. So what else did you hear in that conversation? Rich finding a commonality with Yap about, which is my divorce and the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
Because our boss is a Minnesota fan. And he's also a super cool guy. So I had a super cool conversation with him, which was, again, coming from a place where he's like, dude, just enjoy your time off.
So
trust me, you're our guy, and trust me, just do your thing and enjoy your wave running. I'm like, wave running? I'm doing the jetpack like Kenny Powers. It's like, oh man, you're the best. That's hilarious.
So while Covino is gone next week, we're trying to plot out exactly what we're going to do.
What are we doing?
I may one of the days, Spot, if it's cool with you. We may want to do a shorter show, but I may have a. I think it might be a fun treat for everyone.
I'd like to be filled in on what we're doing.
I think it might be fun for one day, whether it's behind the velvet rope or here. Maybe we do a shorter show, and the guest host is my mom, I think.
Oh,
Got Marianne sit on the show. She's here. I'm like, Mom.
Ben, dinosaur hour.
I'm surprised you're willing to put your mom in that scenario. I would never want to put my parents in that scenario.
No, you did the behind the velvet rope.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah,
I'm saying an alive.
I don't think a live
moment.
Think a live hosting.
Oh, I don't want to
is your
discourage.
mom's
Ho.
I don't know. Or maybe
I don't want
Sarah
to
comes in here.
discourage Rich.
Or we.
But I'm just saying I don't think I would be able to do that.
I'm just trying to think of things we could do, even if it's in shorter form while you're gone.
Sick.
Great. All right, well, Spot said then we won't do a show next week. That's cool. I'm cool with that.
I'm just.
No, I'm cool with anything, man. I'm just trying to think of solutions.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
My point was that would be a big ask for me. Like I would feel real awkward about it.
You're gonna be in a cenote at all?
Like,
People want to know.
Please stop. I will be in a cenote. I will. So I have excursions planned. So I was trying to figure out, and there's a 3-hour time difference too in Mexico. So the time difference and filling in for Dan Patrick and my excursions that I have planned. Yeah, there's one day I'm going to be in Chichen Itza, and I will be in a cenote.
Can you take a picture of you in a cenote with the smile on your face, like joyous?
Yes. Holding my nipples, though. I don't want people to see my nipples.
I want to see it. Like, come on.
I'll be like this. Anyway, hope you had a great Tuesday night.
Cover your nips.
Great Tuesday night. I went out to the melting pot. And I said, don't mind if I fondue.
Bring in the heat.
What dipping did you get? The
I love that
cocoa. What
show.
is it? The cocoa vow?
I was explaining how
Cocoa. What is it?
Rich,
Coco Van.
Cocoa van.
I was explaining how you don't
Wait,
like it, and it's understandable. Like the thought of boiling meat is gross.
I don't
but
dislike
they
it.
put it in
I never said
a
I dislike it.
flavoring. You know that, right?
I love the melting pot.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
not.
I feel like
I
you've
don't know. What I
criticized it
didn't
before.
like. I'm not.
You're like boiled meat, gross.
Yeah, no, I just don't like.
Not a big
What
fan
I
of
don't
melting
like
pot.
is Korean barbecue as much too. I don't know. I don't love it.
love that
I mean,
too.
I love hibachi the
I love
most.
both. Why not both? So I was
I love
never
the
a melting
cheese.
pot guy until I started
The
dating
cheese and
Jordyn.
the dessert are the best
cheese
parts.
and the dessert are the best part. The meat.
I love the
sitting
meat.
there waiting for sitting there. All right.
Yeah.
It's
Putting
3
putting meat
minutes.
on his. All right.
It's a nice conversation.
No,
it's a
listen,
chill atmosphere. I
I-
had an old fashioned.
So-
You're just cooking it. It's 3
I
minutes
would
at a time.
I would never say never to melting pot, but I agree with Spot. My favorite parts are the cheese fondue in the beginning and the chocolate dippings at the end. So to me,
That's good.
appetizer and dessert outweigh the. I think that's the best part. Now, don't get me wrong,
Fondue should have stayed in like the late '60s, early '70s with our parents and their fondue sets.
but you know what? It's sort of a. I think it is a fun date.
Love fondue.
Yo, by the way, Covino loves it because the whole place is dippings. You know, he loves dippings.
Loves dippings.
The whole place is dippings.
I love dippings too. Yeah, so it's in my wheelhouse.
What you get? The coco van, as he said, like the coco van. That's the seasoning.
van.
Coco.
Coco Van.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't even know what you're talking about, man. I know who
When
Coco
you-
Beware is.
Yep.
Oh, you got Coco Beware?
Coco Beware.
yeah.
He was
No,
a fake
in
wrestler.
the beginning of when you go to Melting Pot, you tell them what combo you want, right? And
got
they
the
tell
steak
you
lover.
what
steak
essentially you're
lovers.
choosing what broth you're boiling your meat in. And Coco Van or Coco Van or whatever he said is the main, like it's the
menu.
usual
So you're
go-to.
asking me the flavor of the broth.
Did you get the?
Oh yeah, the dinner menu.
Four-course dinner for two.
What flavor broth did we get last night?
Oh, did you go on a Thursday?
What did you get the 4-course dinner for a couple?
I got the 4-course dinner. I got the
okay.
salad. I got the
Four-course
bread
dinners for two.
and vegetable fondue with the
So-
cheese.
oh,
I got the
complete
entree and then the
experience.
dessert.
Wow, you went heavy. 119.
And then I got 2 old fashions for this old fashioned guy.
Cheese fondue. Which one did you choose? Wisconsin cheddar? No, I know. Spinach.
He got the
artichoke.
Fiesta.
No, he got the.
I was busy sipping my cocktail. I let Jordyn handle
So
that.
what'd you get?
She's all specific
You
about
don't know
her
what you got?
cheeses. No, because I'm not a cheese fondue kind of guy. Whatever she likes is good. It's her birthday.
Can you find out which
You think
one
I'm
she
gonna be
got?
like, stop. I mean, you want cheddar? Are you serious about that?
Can you find out which one she got? I'd like to know. All right.
But I did get my steak lovers, and
Which
she
salad
got
did you get?
which salad? The Caesar.
All right, Caesar. Good,
Yeah.
good choice.
Choice.
All right, here we go. So you got the steak lovers.
Yeah, sure did.
Premium filet, teriyaki marinated steak, garlic pepper steak. And did you add anything to it? What is
Well,
it?
you get all the dippings.
Dipping.
Let's see.
Hey,
What is-
listen, Melting Pot. If you've never been there,
Got the Mojo broth, whatever
Mojo?
that is. Mojo.
fondue cooking styles. Here we go. The
Mr.
Mojo. Caribbean-inspired
Mojo.
garlic, cilantro, and citrus. That sounds good.
Shit was dope.
And then which chocolate fondue did you get? The flaming turtle? That sounds like it's up your alley. The yin and the yang.
Rocky Road.
Oh,
Because I remember her
looks
saying
good.
Rocky.
Dark
I remember
chocolate and
thinking
marshmallow cream.
Rocky
Ooh.
Road.
flambéed. with-
regardless of fun place, guys like Rashawn hit us up saying, I don't vibe with that. You know who doesn't vibe with
I
that?
mean, I
A
never
guy-
went to it either.
a
But
guy
when you
like,
go with somebody who is down with it, and it's more of an easy experience
I'm
because
saying-
there's a part of you that's like, what do I do? Put it for 3 minutes? Okay.
No,
It's
I
easy.
look at it like a guy like it's like old school thinking. A guy like Stanley T, our pal from Hits One, his mindset is always like, I'm gonna come here and pay for me to cook my food. Picture that. And I'm like, yeah, Stan, but that's the whole fun gimmick. Like they give it to you and you cook it. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to cook it.
You know what's funny though?
I'm like, Stan, that's the whole.
They come in there and they're like, all right, so your steak's about from 3 to 5 minutes, just however you like it, just put it in there. So I set a timer on my phone.
for 10 minutes.
No, for like 3.5
No,
minutes,
you probably
right?
set it for 10. You
And
like it well
Jordan's
done.
so embarrassed because she's like, they probably have names for people like you, like in the kitchen.
His phone with a timer.
Doofus.
Look at the fucking nerd.
Yeah,
Dumbasses.
I came up with something in the moment. It was like something, I don't know.
Snappy.
Yeah, some sort of like a, we
well, good
got
for
to
you.
what?
No, good for you.
So I'm there with the timer like a freaking weenie. Someone on the phone, Spotty?
Yeah, someone's on.
412, the letter C in our show, 412-267-7469.
For quite a while.
Anyway, had a happy birthday night with Jordyn, and
Get some.
I hope
Birthday
she
sex?
enjoyed it.
I heard she's taking you on the Ultimatum season 2.
That's the update.
Is that true?
Yeah. What's up? Who's this?
Yo.
Guys,
What's up, man? Who's this?
what's up? It's Everett, not Edgard.
Oh, what's up, Everett? How are you, man?
Not bad, not bad. I don't know if you guys remember me. I called in a couple weeks ago, just started listening to you guys because of the after show.
Oh, nice.
So I will say this. You said that you guys have been together for 20 years, and I know I've only been listening for 2 weeks, but I can kind of tell, like, you guys seem like you still get along and like each other. I used to listen to another show for like 10 years, and you can just kind of tell those guys, like, they're just in there to do the work and get out. They're probably not hanging out afterwards. They don't communicate unless they have to. So the vibe you guys got going on for the last 2 weeks tells me you guys get along.
Oh, good. The facade is working.
We cross skiers at the melting pot all the time.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. That is part of the success of our show. Why it's lasted is that we realize that, like, what's the point? In,
I think we all like each other better personally than professionally, though.
That is true. We do like each other better personally than professionally, but I think liking each other is a part of why we've been able to hang and do this for so long.
No, I'm saying
I've worked with other shows.
imagine personally how much I like these guys, because sometimes I can't stand them professionally. So that's great.
Yeah,
Right back at you.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
think of that. A lot of I worked for a show in New York City, Scott and Todd, when I was an intern. When I tell you they didn't talk, let's say their show started at 6 a.m. They didn't talk until like 5:59, like, hey, good morning. And then no joke.
Was it because they were in their zone, like preparing?
They were just like, yo, we're a show together. Personally, like, yeah, we're fine on the radio together. Let's turn it on. But after the show, like, one guy went golf and the other guy went home with his family, and they were like, yeah. And I remember at 9:59, the minute they're like, hey, we'll see you tomorrow, Scott and Todd. Headphones out. Yeah.
That's like when I interned for Mongrel and Bart.
Oh, same thing, right?
On the Frog is some random station in Kentucky. That's why I had that Kentucky hat on in the Gilbert Gottfried photo.
Yeah.
I worked for Mongrel and Bart, and they had a long career, and I caught the tail end of it. They hated each other. It was awkward for me.
Were you more team Bart or Mongrel?
Bart was like, listen, Mongrel, talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. and I was in the middle like, oh, no.
Well, but you sided more Mongrel, though, right? You were always...
But it was always awkward because I could tell they hated each other.
Because Bart used to give you a nice something around the holidays, so you're like, well, I have a soft spot for
By the way,
Bart.
to Everett and Tanya and all the newer people that listen, I just want to make it clear. I didn't intern for Mongrel and Bart. I just made up that whole thing to relate to Rich's story.
Why? Mongrel and Bart?
I don't even know if there's such a show, but I'm sure there is.
Now,
on WFRG, The Frog. Ribbit.
98.9, The Frog, Mongrel, and Bart. So I have a conversation that sort of relates to everything we're talking about. Somehow, some way, it all ties together. Gardening, Gilbert Gottfried, Ryan Hollins.
Fondue.
It all ties together. Donnie Pompidou, who is a guy that I very much get a kick out of. I really, there's listeners and people that have supported us for years that I know without knowing them that well personally. I've met Donnie.
Yeah, without knowing him, I feel like I know him.
Yeah, like there's people I know, and
I've met Donnie.
My mom's down in South Carolina right now, and she's seeing family she hasn't seen in decades. She's staying with her cousin Joanne, who she has not seen since the 90s. And my mom's godson, John, who's like our age, was like, I feel like while I haven't seen you in 30 years, because of Facebook, I know about your kids, your grandkids, your life. It's weird what social media has done.
For sure.
Where you feel like you know someone, yet there's a guy I met on vacation, right? The Burrs. Their last name is Burr. Mark Burr. Met this guy on vacation, went up to the swim.
Were they in the pool like this?
Burr. But I met this guy on vacation. You got the cold. And his beautiful wife. Burr. No joke, like 15 years ago.
Oh, we're the Burrs.
Oh. Come in the hot tub with us.
And that's how
how we met. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and it all ties together.
Yeah.
Because some Dominican guy came and he threw potatoes and broccoli in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Would you like the mojo or the coco?
Coco Ven.
Or the coco ven?
So I met this guy and his wife. We're talking 15 years ago, but because of Facebook, I remember he had little babies, and now on Facebook, we wish each other a happy birthday. It was like, he's like, yo, what's up, old school vacation bud? Happy birthday. Oh, your kids are getting old. And I remember when you guys were newlyweds and my wife and I had babies. Our kids are fucking teenagers now. But I feel like I've known this guy. I've met him for a week in like Antigua. 15 years later, I still
feel like
I know him.
You know him.
It's wild, right? Donnie Pompidou, I met one time. But because of his feedback, his pictures, his takes on sports and political correctness, I feel like I know him as well as I know my fucking neighbor.
His hatred of Tom Brady.
It's true. So
his love of his Falcons.
His kids. He loves his kids, the Falcons.
His bromance with Eric.
Oh, man. Bromance to the fullest. So Donnie Pompidou posed a great question. I'll give him credit. Spot, if you go to our Carl's Facebook page.
Shout out to Soul Patch Eric.
He's got a great soul patch and even a better looking woman. Hey, Jules. Donnie posted almost like a poll where it's a picture of a bunch of magazine covers. And you can expand upon this, but we were talking about The Ultimatum on Netflix. And, we're talking about some baseball. And he's like, hey, guys, let me give you the question. If you're at a dinner party with your wife and friends or out with your buds or whatever, what magazine, I guess, would best reflect the topics in which you discuss as a grown man? Because he's like, I don't know anyone that's talking about The Ultimatum. And I'm like, well, I'll joke about it with a couple friends here and there. But what are the dinner and let's have drinks at Frank and Maria's house? Like, where are the conversations in your life right now?
Let me see those magazines.
Well, hold on. Spot will pull up the picture.
Home and Gardening for Rich.
Which of his accounts posted it?
I don't know.
Rich's new subscription to Gnome and Gardening.
Gnome. Well, I mean, I do think that.
Oh, here we go.
You got it, Spot?
Oh, Gardenia's Monthly? Yeah, that's where Rich usually gets his conversation topics from.
Gardenia Monthly.
Yeah. Montana's and Lantanas.
Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, he just made this little meme. It's like parenting magazine, outdoor life, Sports Illustrated,
I would say it's
People
an
magazine.
Really easy answer for a guy like me. I'm a guy that came up working for Maxim magazine. It's a dated brand, but it was a lifestyle and sports and entertainment brand.
Of these four.
So I would say that would be me.
Of these four, for me, it would be People.
So you can only choose from People, SI, Sports Illustrated, parenting, and what was the top one?
Like outdoor life.
I like outdoor life too. So it's a combination of People and outdoor life.
I thought about this more.
Outdoor People.
I thought about this more.
People in Sports Illustrated.
I thought about this more, Covino.
But you got to consider the audience, because if it's a bunch of parents, I'm not a parent.
Well, yeah, no, I thought about this, buddy, because
Bassmasters.
Oh, I thought it was Ass Masters.
Can be. Ass Masters.
I thought about this because I recently saw a bunch of my friends at my friend Jeanette's wedding. And it was 4 couples living in a house for a weekend having drinks.
Big ones.
And I'll tell big ones with
That's the first
Sally Scuds.
Sally Scuds.
Yeah, but that's not the one I had.
Big ones.
That's not the one I had.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No.
So the question is, if you and your wife go to a friend's house for a barbecue, a dinner party, some drinks to watch a fight, whatever the case, if you're hanging with friends, adult friends, and you're roughly late 30s, 40s, what do you talk about? And I know the number one answer for me, at least, when I get together with my high school friends, I feel like somehow the conversation finds its way back to real estate a lot. Real estate and parenting are like, to me, somehow, some way, the conversation comes back to some shit that their kid's teacher did or something did, like parenting and real estate in their neighborhood. Oh, you like, how's your neighborhood? Moving? You moving? Like, oh, you doing some fixing up shit on your house? Like, I feel like it's real estate and parenting.
Did they talk about allowing your kids to have sleepovers with opposite sex in Parenting Magazine?
That's a good question.
And what if that kid is pansexual? I'm like, what does that even mean?
How are you navigating that one?
He
By
likes
the way?
Peter Pan?
How are you navigating that?
No, Dad. How? Like this? No. Get out of here. No.
Yeah, he still has a penis.
Dad, he's got 2 moms and he's pansexual. Like, it's totally innocent. And what if like there might be other girls there? How about like if we know the parents first? That's step 1. How about that?
Huh.
Did they cover that in Parenting Magazine? Nope. Because it's a different fucking ball game now, especially here in Los Angeles. That's why I don't think my parents just don't understand. Will Smith is on his comeback. Like, you didn't deal with what I got to deal with.
Yeah, that's a different
I'm not
world.
saying it was easier.
Kadeem Hardison style.
I'm saying this is different. Different.
So to answer that simple question,
pansexual. Of course, I've heard of it.
To wrap up everything we talked about in the first hour of the show, because I brought this up because we talked about everything from fondue to gardening to
fondues to fondants
to you name it. Gilbert
from
Gottfried.
fondues to pompadours.
What are you talking about with your wife and friends? If it's, what day is it?
I think Spot nailed it. Like, it's such a subjective question. I like how Donnie Pompadour posed it, but it depends who you're hanging with. You cater to the audience.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if I'm hanging with my softball buddies Saturday morning, the conversation is solely sports. Like, it doesn't vary. That's
what I
every
mean.
conversation on Saturday morning.
If I'm at the barber shop, I'm not talking like from the perspective of home and gardening.
Yeah, like
if I'm at softball Saturday or Sunday mornings, you know what the conversation always is about, especially during football season. I don't think we talk about anything but football. Football.
It depends who you're with. If I'm with Spot, I'm not talking about football. You know what I mean? Just depends who you're with.
Yeah, like if you and Jordyn came over for dinner, do you think we were going to sit there and talk about sports?
All right, so if I'm
Spot would talk to me about his magic shoes.
Talk about my magic
if I'm out the mix and I'm out of town, and you, Spot, Jordyn, and Kristen the 4 of you were sitting at a dinner, what is the conversation
It
about?
would probably be about everything.
Sophia Beverly. Oh, sorry.
What would it be about? Would you and Spot and your spouses, your girl?
We talk about work, travel, things.
Oh, like travel, like, hey, where do you guys think you're going next? Like, where's your next big trip?
TV
Like that's
shows, people in our lives. We talk about
wildwater rafting because Jordyn and Spot were debating about.
We would have a heated debate about
rivers
whether or not
and rafting and
dog could survive in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like and things unfold.
Sports would probably be the last thing we talked about.
Like I never go into an evening with talking points. I allow.
Wait, you're not there, right?
I'm not there.
Oh, so we're talking about Rich.
Of course.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I said that.
Whoever's not there.
I mean, that would be number one. Yeah, you do, and you do that, and you're joking, but everyone does that. They talk about the person that's not there.
It's true. That is true.
They have clandestine conversations about the person not with them.
I'm not worthy of praise.
Clandestine. I just think that the conversation will change based on who you're with, which is it's almost the same as in a conversation. You're like, well, it depends. Depends is the worst answer when you're asking someone a question. Like, well, it depends on the scenario. Like, I'm asking you a question.
So then, what represents you the most?
And sometimes
I would have to say, and I don't consider myself a sports guy. I don't, but Sports Illustrated probably.
Like,
because parenting, like I feel like my kid's 12 right now, so she's a lot more independent. Although parenting is trickier than ever, right? But I'm not in that conversation of, hey man, you watching Coco Melon? And man, I'm really loving these new little puffy snacks that they came out with. Like I'm not in that.
Yeah, you're
zone,
out that.
right? So I'm not parenting. What was the other one? People. People might be in my wheelhouse. If there was a mix of people and Sports Illustrated, that would be me personally. Because I do like to talk about pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like to talk about the pop culture stories in sports.
It's true. So just figured I'd throw it out there. What magazine or what type of stuff reflects what you talk to your friends about? And the answer, sadly, is annoying, and it depends on who.
The answer, sadly, is who reads magazines anymore.
Was he? I have a
No, I
question.
think that was it was more of like the.
Was it?
Oh, I know. I'm just
Was it
saying.
like, what do you? Is it like, how do you prep for a conversation, or was it just like, what do your conversations usually talk about?
No,
because
what you know where it started? Spot. It started with a guy like Donnie saying, "I don't think my wife and my friends have ever fucking mentioned a stupid show like The Ultimatum, but you guys talk about that." And I'm like, well, it depends on the circle. Like if Shannon is over here and Mike, they don't have kids and they're into like pop culture stuff, so I probably would talk about some dumb reality show with Shannon or something.
But that's what this show's about, like trying to keep you somewhat well-rounded for those moments.
I guess the answer to Donnie's question is our show.
But sometimes forcing, like, that's why you click with people or you don't click with people. Sometimes forcing topics or feeling the need to fill every lull, it can be like is unnecessary. To me, I like a conversation unfolding and flowing and having it go places. Like there are people that I could talk to for hours, and it's just like the conversation just keeps flowing. It overlaps from one topic to the other, and before you know it, it's 4 hours later, and it's like me and Gabe. Me and Gabe could talk for hours.
Yeah, and then you know what? The opposite spot's right. There are times where you could talk to someone, and the conversation might continue because you know how to carry a conversation, but it really isn't a conversation that's going somewhere. My neighbor stopped by the other day. Very sweet. Dropped off, asked if we wanted all her kids are growing up, and she's like, I have this crate, this trunk of like 1 million dolls and dresses and like dress up stuff for dolls. Does your daughter want it? And I was like, oh, I welcome them into the house. And we started talking, and the conversation went to her daughter's a writer for television and this and that. We talk about TV. Oh, what are you watching? Immediately, she's like, Bridgerton, Downton Abbey, all this. Like, oh, we're not. We'll have far. I know in my mind, I'm like,
you should have dropped my fun fact. How? Oh, I hear the second season wasn't as sexy.
I did, and she goes, you're right. I go, because she said something like, it's very sexual, and I go, well, I heard the second season, people complaining it wasn't sexual enough. She's like, yeah, that is true. So yeah, but I'm saying,
see, and you pick up like that's why people that listen to our show should be very well read and very prepared for any conversation.
Exactly.
We give you so much bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it really says, Donnie Pompidou really doesn't extend his circle at all.
That should be our selling
because he's never going to be in a moment where someone's like, have you seen that show, The Ultimatum? Like, he's never in that scenario.
That's a great point.
But
you made the best point of all, just with that thing. If you're not having all these conversations, then your circle's limited.
And if someone does bring up The Ultimatum, even if you hate it, you can say, oh, I heard on the show I listened to about, sounds like a shit show, but sounds like,
or even if someone's wife, if someone's wife,
we're trying to give you ammo to simply say, yeah, I'm aware. I've heard of it. Like, that's it.
Like if you're with your wife and like, let's say one of her friends is like, can you believe J-Lo and Ben are engaged again? Like,
oh yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy,
like you should at least be in the loop on things, right?
You can at least throw in a crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
I heard crazy, but you're not even lying because you have.
Because of this show and the Fox show, I'm able to participate in sports conversations. Do I understand what I'm saying? No, but I absorb things.
Exactly. So
that's it.
I guess the point is, you know what? There is a point here. It's not just it's not me rambling about Donnie's dumb post after all. The point here is that you should be well versed enough to have a conversation about everything from outdoor life to parenting to People Magazine to Sports Illustrated to everything. You should be able to
big ones.
Carry a conversation with anyone at any time. And
I was kind of offended that for you that they didn't have Honcho magazine as an option.
All right. Let's say someone did bring up Honcho magazine. What would you say?
Honcho?
Yeah.
How do you feel about mustaches?
You know, men back in the day, women used to think men with mustaches are sexy, and you could get in a conversation about that.
Honcho. So there you have it. It's a good question. Again,
like, where do your conversations go?
The answer is kind of lame.
I think as we get older, I think the
answer is it does depend on who you're with, who you're hanging with. But again, which defines you is another sub question.
I think New York and Texas, the one commonality I have with the folks that I hang with in both places.
Yeah.
Because my Texas friends, I talk more about
Rich
sport.
Gets very political. You can tell because when he comes back from Texas,
not at all.
He's leaning very political. Yes.
Nope.
I've noticed
when I'm in Texas, real estate is always real estate.
And dozers.
Real estate and dozers.
And what are the type of trees?
Mesquite trees, yeah.
Hog brush.
Hog brush.
Hog brush.
That's what Rich uses to comb his hair when he's in Texas.
Yeah.
Para, have you seen my hog brush?
Where's my hog brush?
Now, Rich, you know you don't need that.
Lisa brings up a good point. The best is when people come to a party or a little dinner or something, and people start talking about shows or music, and you got the one person that's like, oh, we don't really watch TV and listen to new music. And you're like, beat it. Barf. Ugh.
You know what happens too? You know, because we're bi-coastal.
Poop shoot.
Don't tell my dad.
It's because he lives in L.A. now. Hey, that L.A. bullshit.
Yeah, he's all sassy now.
When you're
No, Dad, bi-coastal.
when you're gonna be on the East
Hollywood.
Coast, right? They're gonna be shitting on people on the West Coast. When you're on the West Coast, they're gonna be shitting on people on the East Coast.
True that. Why you do that?
If you're hanging with a conservative circle, they're gonna be shitting on all the liberalism. If you're hanging with some liberal people, they're gonna be like, yeah, all these rootin' tootin' fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah, and if it's just one-on-one, you and other people, it's much more difficult. If there's other people involved, then you have like 3 different directions things can go. There's I don't know. There's ways to use the knowledge that you've learned from us. Always use us as talking points.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard on this show ...
When I hang out in the barrio, we make fun of white people all the time.
Yeah, and then when you're with me,
when I'm with
and then
white
me,
people,
like, I'm like, what?
When I'm with white people, they're, you know,
I hate
those Mexicans. It's always usually those Mexicans.
I hate talking to people. I was at the gym recently.
I'm
Our gym,
kidding,
Rich.
of course.
Our gym. So some guy was using a machine and like invited me in to switch out with him. I'm like, I won't do it. But then he like pointed to my beard. He's like, hey, how long did it take you to grow that? And then it opened the conversation. We talked for probably like a half hour, just back and forth, just standing there at the gym, because one thing led to another. Back and forth, conversation just flowing.
I saw an article about that in Honcho magazine. It said best way to start a conversation with a dude, compliment his beard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He mentioned the girlfriend, so I know he wasn't hitting on me.
Now Spot's starting a podcast with the guy
Or
called
was he? Who
Beards and
knows?
Bulges.
L.A. Hey, you never know.
Guy came meat gazing to talk about Spotty's beard.
I never talk to anybody.
Meat Gazing magazine. That was another good one.
Yeah.
You gotta let
It's
it
about
flow.
steaks
Like,
and cuts
like-
of meat.
Rich, you're great at keeping a conversation going. So I want to preface it by saying that. But sometimes I feel like you feel the need to keep a conversation going.
Yes.
And don't let natural lulls happen, which lead to other things. You fill those lulls immediately with, hey, did you hear about did you hear about that guy getting hit in the butt with a ball?
Yeah, I do. Like, I'll tell you what, when we were on Felipe Esparza's podcast, I felt like my butt clenched 20 times when like all of a sudden no one would talk. Like, I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
That is awkward. I'm not going to deny that.
It's Jimmy Fallon syndrome. Jimmy Fallon always talks about anytime there's a lull in anything, he feels the pressure to like light his farts on fire.
And then he laughs at himself.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, when we were on that Felipe
Or
podcast,
like James Corden, anytime there's a lull, he just sings so he hears his own voice.
What's up, fool?
Spot, you hate on late night hosts, but I'll back you up on one thing.
No,
James Corden does love to hear himself
He
sing.
loves to hear himself sing, and
It's
Jimmy Fallon loves
annoying.
to hear himself laugh.
Jimmy Fallon, I think, is now a caricature of him laughing so much. Like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. In the barrio, we do make fun of white people. I see Michael confirmed it.
I mean, I just assume it happens that way.
Well, let me cross this off the list. You want me to give you a friend in need I never got to yesterday?
Like, what would
No,
happen?
I have something for
Okay.
you.
What would
Yeah, let's
happen if
go.
the three of us had nothing to say right now? Just be like, so.
All right, what's really on your mind right now? Go ahead. If we weren't doing a show, what's on Spot's mind right now? What's on your mind right now?
How much money I'm going to make with my shoes?
Is that really on your mind? Yeah, you can say that's a fair statement. Spot's thinking right now. We're doing a show, but deep down inside, Spot's thinking about his NFT shoes and how much money he's making.
I have something I'm doing this week.
What is that?
I mentioned it to you. I want to talk about. You want me to talk about it?
What is it again?
I told you. I set up an appointment.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, I do want him to talk about this. But what are you thinking right now, just for the hell of it? Outside the show, are you thinking like,
Throughout the rest of my day.
Are you thinking about like traveling next week? I'm going to pack. And like, are you like,
about
what's
all
on
the
your
work
mind?
I have to do ahead of time.
You have to
So that I
record
can enjoy, so that I can enjoy my trip there. I have a lot of.
oh, fucking how many, you're thinking how many Tool and System of a Down intros do I need to introduce so I can get ahead of myself for next week?
A lot, to be honest. And I'm thinking about taking Melody to her pool party later today. She's got a pool party. Kind of creepos are going to be there.
You think to yourself, when you were in 5th grade, that's when boys start thinking about stuff, and you're like, oh, creepos. But then half of them are little gay boys now. So
technically, technically, Melody would have been in 7th grade, so I have to always remember that.
That's something.
She stayed back an extra year in kindergarten.
August, like later birthdays.
Yeah.
When we were kids, like if I'm an October birthday. Yeah. If I was in school now, I would have been class of 98.
She was right on the border, and half of her schoolmates went to 1st grade. She stayed in kindergarten for another year. So a lot of her friends are in 7th grade. And I think about, because she would have been in 7th grade. I think about, man, I can't believe that because when I was
you were like kissing girls.
Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, oh shit.
You ain't having a sleepover.
I think about how my parents haven't really even seen her since she was like 9. So that's a big change. And that change weighs heavy on her because she's like, I don't even think they like me anymore because I'm not that little kid that they were making cupcakes with. She grew up. That's a big portion of a kid's life. Mm-hmm. So that's saddening to me.
I think a lot about Sophia Beverly's boobs.
Boobs are on my mind a lot.
So you think about other boobs. You think about your NFT crypto shoes, and you're thinking about.
I'm thinking about doing the backstroke in Tulum while covering my nipples. So one hand at a time.
Are you gonna try to get? Are you gonna try to?
But what about the?
Are you gonna take?
But what about the?
No, I'm just going in circles.
But how is the other nipple going to be underwater? Like how?
Yeah.
Oh, so it won't show.
Are you thinking to yourself like, if I take a shirtless photo, I need to pose just the right way? Like,
Jordyn in front of me. That's the right way. That's the only way. I got all those things on my mind. Nothing like specific, like one track sort of thing. Getting ahead is big time on my mind.
My goal
I hate feeling stagnant.
My goal in life is always just to have smaller boobs than my wife.
You have updated swim trunks?
That's my goal in life.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I was the advocate for like, hey, you got to go with the style. I went to the mall the other day.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm ADD radio, but whatever. I was at the mall. I wanted to get a massage and I wanted to go to the gym.
A massage?
I wanted to get a massage and I wanted to go to the gym. And I was wearing jeans. So I said, you know what? Let me go around the mall to try to find the cheapest. I just want to find the cheapest shorts or sweatpants. Because no one wants to get a massage in jeans, and you want to go to the gym in jeans, right? So I was like, let me get a pair. $19 at Forever 21. But the point is, I went to all these stores. Men's shorts.
You should go to Forever 41.
Forever 41. My number one observation was age appropriate. Age appropriate is one thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think any shorts in any store at the mall are appropriate for a 40-year-old guy now because they
what
are.
What about the man with bulletproof legs?
Bro, there was a show. There's a store.
I can't wait to show off these stems in Vegas. I'm going to the mall to buy shorter shorts than I have already.
Spot. There's a store at the mall by us. I'm sure it's everywhere.
Wait till you see my legs at the pool.
You've heard of it. I'm sure your daughter took you there once. You ever hear Cotton On?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a store at the mall. It's like a clothing store. Cotton On.
Cotton On is like a.
It's almost like an H&M-ish type.
It's very H&M-ish, but a little bit
pricier.
No, yeah, a little. And it has more like prints and different types.
I went there. I went to H&M. I went to Express. I went to Macy's. I'm like, where can I find the cheapest pair of something just so that I'm not wearing jeans at the fucking gym?
H&M.
Yo, when I tell you every pair of shorts is like not even like above the knee. Now they're like. They might as well be like below the nut. Like,
why do you think
so short. Like,
why
not even
doing squats recently,
bro. Like my dad's McEnroe shorts from '83.
Leg extensions.
It's not even like I used to be the advocate committee. You remember? I was like, guys, come on, don't be the guy wearing the big baggy shorts. Now it's not above the knee. Now it's like, hey, how much man thigh could you show?
I told you, you hate leg day. Let's do leg day together. You'll be proud to show off your legs.
You're gonna be a handsome man with athletic thighs.
I don't mind showing off my legs. I just feel like it's inappropriate. I feel like you look fatter with shorter shorts.
Let me show you.
And like the inner man thigh is always very white.
Those are not short where you have on. You have appropriate shorts in my opinion.
All right,
the ones I saw,
pull them up.
That's how they are.
This is what you need right here.
Nobody needs that.
More. I think even more. Spot.
You show a little
like
bottom
that.
nut.
I think you're showing. Yeah, I think
Honestly,
that's what guys shorts
I
are.
don't want my beanbag hanging out, so I would never wear those. Ever. Look like a man to you? I say absolutely no.
Sunglasses on those fluorescent ass legs.
Look like a man. They look like a man. They look like a man. They don't look like a man to me. You look like a man to you. I say no. I say no.
Yo.
Where's my Rocky socks? Jorge Pena. I say absolutely no.
The Richard
It's like
Simmons
even
line.
the shorts I wore when I fought Paulo, even they were like appropriate.
You're like really short.
They were like short, but not like that kind of short, you know? Man, I don't know, bro. I don't get it. Then again, I don't get anybody. So whatever.
What did you say yesterday?
I don't know.
Illogical. What was it?
Flawed logic.
Flawed logic. Everyone today.
Yeah, I'm showing like bottom nut in Vegas. I hope you're all ready.
Yeah.
You know why I don't worry about my daughter as much, guys? Because the boys are wieners. That's the truth. Like, you know how like we had this sense of arrogance about us as boys? And I'm not saying that's good either.
That was you.
But that we were like,
Speak for yourself.
you know, we're guys. So we're in control of the scenario. It's completely different. Like, there's no little boy in control of like,
Maybe
The
in
girls
your
are
maybe in your
vicious.
maybe in your
These little
daughter's
girls-
circle. I
these little
have
girls
friends
wear the
with boys that
pantalones. Yeah, we live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So I can tell you straight up that these little girls are way more domineering and dominant in any type of relationship than these little boys who are still trying to figure it out.
Honestly, I might just wear underwear to the pool in Vegas.
Yeah, wear undies.
Can I show you my underwear?
No.
Because I feel like they're the perfect length. I feel like that's what these shorts look like.
Before you
Let me show you.
before you get to your goodness today, Covino, Spot's gonna do something next week that I feel like you're gonna say,
Next week,
yo,
you mean tomorrow?
tomorrow. I feel like you're gonna be like, yo, I'll do it with you. You know what he's doing?
He brought it up. I'm
No.
trying to remember where you're going, though. I remember he brought it
These
up.
are shorts. I think these
What in the hell is this guy
are.
doing?
Yo, bro.
I think these are like the length of shorts you should have.
The sex?
Yeah. I love these. Don't look at my bulge.
You should wear just those.
You know Sean Murphy, bro.
Yeah. Get in the batter's box, Spot.
By the way, the catcher with the ass from the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Throw a ball at it. Throw a ball at it.
It did make sense. He's a catcher. It didn't dawn on me that the guy was squatting all the time. He's behind the plate. He's going to have a thunderous ass. We posted a new clip yesterday. Spot posted a clip of our discussion about the guy with the ass from the Oakland A's. You can see it on our Twitter page at Covino and Rich.
You know what's funny? I mean,
But all catchers have thunderous quads and thighs and ass.
I can't disagree with what is your truth.
I'm gonna DM
Right?
Lonnie
But
my
when I tell
actual
you, like,
butt crack.
my friends' kids in New York or Texas or other places, or even in Emmy's school, the little boys are rambunctious little maniacs. So unless they all turn flamboyant at
Little
12,
boys. It's when they start getting to the ages of figuring themselves out and stuff. It's
maybe so.
it's different
yo,
here.
I'm
not
sure.
saying
I'm
that's
sure
the-
I'll back you up in
But
5
again,
to
I
10 years
saw
from
little
now.
rambunctious boys too. Those little rambunctious boys
Turned into
have
little,
haircuts, and they're like, "How are you? I'm so sorry." They're just different little boys now.
Okay, I'm not going to doubt you. I'm just saying, I see still a handful of little obnoxious boys that are cocksure of
I'm not
themselves.
saying they don't exist. I'm saying they're few and far between here in LA.
Yeah.
All right. Spot, tell the world and Covino what you're doing tomorrow, because I'm intrigued, and Spot said, well, I don't even know if you could do it.
Not that you could. I'm saying I don't think you need it. So I've decided as part of my, this might sound cheap and it might sound like an easy way out.
He's getting Botox.
Yeah, we talked about this.
As part of my fitness journey, right? You know, I shed a ton of weight. I go to the gym frequently. I've changed my diet.
Everyone of Melody's friends is the kid from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Pretty
Thank you,
much.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Melody.
And those are the
Thank you,
straight
Melody.
ones.
A sewing kit. Thank you.
Not joking. I wish I was.
You ready?
Yeah.
As part of my fitness journey,
Yeah.
I've decided that to kind of eliminate the looseness and the goo around my midsection, that I'm going to try cool sculpting.
Cool sculpting.
And what that essentially is they they suck your little fat up into a little machine and they freeze it off. and then this fat cells start to die off over
Pee it out,
over
right?
a few months. Yeah. So and then it starts to trim up. So
Cool
Cool
sculpting.
sculpting. So I went.
Now that you're doing it's not so cool sculpting.
So I went for a consultation, and if anything, I felt good because she was like, "You don't really have much here, but there's stuff to do." So what's called the flanks. So like your side and kind of like lower back fat.
If we cut you up into steaks, that would be your flanks.
And then like I have a very loose like
Caboose?
No, like a very loose like gut, like a little bit of a.
That's from the early 2000s.
Not a flap, but like whatever. So I have thought of surgery. I have thought of like getting everything tightened up because when you lose a lot of weight, you have like looser skin because you've been stretched for so long. But you also have like just little stubborn fat in areas that doesn't go away no matter what you do. And I promised myself I would maintain. And if I maintained for a certain amount of time and knew that this was a permanent life change, that this might be something that I investigate. So I looked into it. It's a couple grand. It's like $2,000 to have it done in the midsection.
Damn.
And
Without your flank spot, how are we going to make spot brisket?
I know. So like, and they say like a side effect is the skin tightens up a bit. So I want to see how it works and try and do it without surgery because I feel like I've earned it.
I have a story to back up what you're saying. Maybe my sister Grace. You have to realize everyone in my family is allergic to like new aged anything. It's like, who do you think you are? Like it's that kind of vibe. No, but it's that kind of vibe. Like you did what? Steven's doing the backstroke in Tulum.
Who does he think he is?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, because if my parents would never do it, like, what are you, like some sort of maniac? Who are you?
I find that to be the most fascinating thing about your family because when I tell you, there's not a nicer family than Covino's family.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I've been to Covino's family's house, his mom and dad couldn't be the kinder, nicer. Your dad's
But
hilarious.
it's just foreign.
But
It's
I
like,
just thought
I can just only imagine if my siblings ever wanted to get a nose job,
anything off the radar.
I think it would just be very like, can you believe what they did?
They are very old school in a funny way. Like
that's my vibe. I could be way wrong. That's how I feel.
No, but that's a lot of parents, but especially your parents. Like your mom's very conservative. So the minute if you said something like anything cosmetic,
I don't think like how everyone's mom's doing a little something to still maintain. I can never see my mom doing that because she has Mexican guilt that her mom would totally shit on her for worrying and about things like that.
Yeah.
So she passed that on to everyone else. Like, I don't think my siblings would ever do anything like this because we'd be judged in that way. But we're also embraced and loved in every way. So, don't get it twisted.
Your mom would say
it's very old school thinking.
Your parents would say some shit like, "What he thinks he's one of the housewives now."
Right. However, my family always did dye their hair and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and again, I could be way off. That's just how I feel. So my sister got something done, but she had to make it very clear to everybody. I would never do this at all. The story was her boss wanted to get the same procedure that Spot was getting done, but it was laser. It wasn't sculpting. It was burning the cells, the same premise, but like burning them with laser, zapping it with a laser. And my sister said, look, I guess she's trying to justify, like, she complains about money is spending her money on that. Right? So she's like, my boss wanted to get this done, but didn't want to go alone. So she bought me 5 sessions to go with her.
And that's fair. If your sister, who is thin to begin with.
Right. Yeah, but she has 2 kids, so she
got a little something.
That little something she couldn't get rid of, but she's naturally thin. So the story was her boss bought her 5 sessions to go with her. She's like, but I didn't even want to go. And,
but you'll take it.
She had this guilt about it that I understood. And she went and she said, I couldn't believe it. It's supposed to zap all the fat cells and you pee them out. She's like, I lost 11 pounds in only 3 sessions. She's like, and it's gone. And I saw her and she looked noticeably different. What? Yeah, like noticeably. I'm like, wow.
Oh.
And she's like, and I think I got like 2 more sessions left. I'm like, wow, that's... What's the name of this?
You gonna put a wig on and say your grace?
Yeah, like what's the name of this place again? I'm like, maybe I'll go with your boss if you want. If she wants me to go with her, I'll go. So it worked for my sister, and it was the same premise spot. And I've heard, didn't Rude Jude do that? Yeah, is that burn cool my fat?
I think
Yeah,
she did
Wizard
that.
John.
Yeah.
Yo, can you fucking can you do that
So
to your chin? Wizard John sculpted his chin. He lost 8 pounds.
She had laser lipo done.
I guess so, yeah.
Laser lipo.
But she was shocked and amazed that it worked too. And it wasn't that expensive. I think she said it was like $100, $200 a session, which was less than I thought something like that would be.
Uses laser energy to melt fat cells without surgery.
No, dude, no shame in that game.
They can be vacuumed or drained out through small tubes.
Was your sister?
this sounds a little bit
is she
different.
under during this or no?
What?
When she did this, is she like wide awake while they're doing it? Or is she like knocked out, sedated? Is it invasive? Like,
I don't know. No, I don't think so at all.
so
And by the way, Jordyn just hit me up. She said, I can't believe you're telling people about your sister. I don't think it was a big deal. Is that a big deal?
No. Who knows your
Well,
sister?
I don't
here?
think that. Yeah, but I don't even think that's I don't think she cares that much. She looks great.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm airing her dirty laundry in any way.
If you told me,
I didn't get that kind
if
of vibe.
Sarah told me I'm doing this, I'd say, hey, go for it. And
Laser lipo.
if Sarah's like, I want to
To me,
tighten
it
up,
was just like
if,
they just lays. I
listen,
didn't.
if anyone's wife
Yeah.
who said after a couple kids is like, hey, I want to do some stuff for myself to feel better, and you have the money, every husband should encourage their significant other to feel good about themselves. And if that's what it takes, like your sister looks great. If she lost 11 pounds and feels like pre-baby Grace,
Yeah, from my understanding,
is that
she
what you
sat
want?
under a laser light.
I essentially had a quintuplets in my gut, and now I've gotten rid of them. So it's kind of the same thing, even though I didn't push something out of my vag. But
So, Spot, what is your goal here? If you're going to talk about it, so let's hear. You're doing it tomorrow, but what is the goal? Are they telling you like, well, Christian Sorge, based on your makeup and based on your fitness journey, we think we could shed like 5 pounds of goo?
I don't think it's not about necessarily about the amount of weight. It's about like
the
look,
aesthetic,
the aesthetic. Like it's gonna,
tightening of
it'll
it.
tighten it up. It'll reduce, and it'll tighten the skin a bit.
Are you getting a titty lift?
No, my brother's done that.
How dare you say that about your brother?
This is dirty laundry.
Yeah, I didn't think I was saying anything personal. If that's too personal, I sincerely apologize. But I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was a big deal.
So I'm doing the procedure tomorrow. It's like a 2-hour long thing where you just, because they're doing it in 2 sets. So like they're doing the front
What's the
left
chance
and
of
back right.
behind the velvet rope for
I was
this?
gonna say I'll do it not while the people are in the room, but I assume they set you up and walk out. So I'll stream and show everybody
Look at
what's
that.
going
Tier
on.
2 behind the velvet rope. Spots
Me sitting in a room with stuff around my gut fat.
freezing. So is this the freezing the fat away?
This is the freezing the fat away. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that for a long time.
Not to boringly take you through it again. They inject you with something. Can you give us the procedure one more time?
So
you're laying
it's
there.
the hot meat injection.
it's hot beef.
You
It's
close
the
your
hot-
eyes
sorry,
and the
hot beef
doctor
injection, and then
Okay.
they cool it.
So
yeah.
from what I understand, they
So
have
you're are you laying there in like your fucking briefies or what's going on?
yeah. So
okay.
from what I understand, they put like this thing over the fat, right?
Like so, there's no needle or anything going
No,
into you.
Nothing goes inside. It's not invasive at all.
I guess
Yeah, it's
is
the same
it?
thing with my sister.
No, but when they did lipo back in the day on like fat
Yeah,
people,
no,
don't they
no,
go
no.
inside with like a
That's
wand
not
and they're
anything
like
my sister got that. From my understanding, my sister sat under a photon light. They zapped her.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I've
this
gotten,
is cold. This is freezing.
They're just freezing.
This is freezing.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's very cold for the first few minutes,
Oh.
and then at the end, they come in and they massage it, which apparently can be the most painful experience of your life. But I've had a lot of pain, so I think I can deal with it.
Are they?
It's like it almost looks like a little plastic, like shell. that
But
they
you're
put
actually
over the
eliminating
fat.
fat cells.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
put
thing.
over and it sucks it in,
Right.
And then it just applies super coldness, which kills off the cells, and then eventually over time,
You're gonna pee out a blob. You're gonna be.
Oh, yeah. They start to die, and then eventually they are removed naturally from.
You're gonna pee out some gabagool remnants.
Yeah, because when you lose weight, I'm stating the obvious, right? Your fat cells are there.
Yeah.
When you lose weight, they just
shrink.
deflate and they shrink.
But they don't.
But they're always there.
You
You could multiply your fat cells, but you can't get rid of those cells once they're there unless you
can
do
grow-
something like
You
that.
can grow new ones, but you can't get rid of old ones.
Yeah.
Once they're there, they're there.
That's wildly interesting.
Man.
I'm intrigued to see how this goes for you. And I want it to work. I want Spot to come back and be like,
Yeah, dude. When my sister said that to me, like the light bulb went off. The laser light bulb went off. I was like, yeah, I would do that shit. Wait, so
now
it's
I'm
not
curious,
invasive
should I have-
anyway?
Should I
I
have
would
done
do that.
laser lipo now? But the person said it's like you get good results.
It breaks up the fat so you can metabolize your own fat and then excrete it. Is that what happens, right?
Yeah,
so
and
it
you pee
breaks
it
up
out.
the fat.
Yeah.
But there's no vacuum though.
No, it is. It sucks it in.
But I think
on
when-
the outside, they don't.
There's no
nothing
internal. I'm picturing
There's
some
no
like
that's liposuction,
liposuction,
dude. That's a
There's no cuts.
major procedure.
I didn't want to have any of that done. I didn't want to be cut open, even though I have scars. It doesn't matter.
Of course.
But I didn't want anything that invasive. That's why this kind of intrigued me.
Yeah, you're gonna take the longest pee like Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like,
Spots is gonna pee out all his fat, like
I'm gonna think I have some sort of STD because it's gonna be like a thick discharge.
Oh my god. Yeah, are you gonna like? Is it honestly like a different, thicker pee?
No, it's like over time. It's not. I think you're thinking it comes out all at once.
Not like
It's
a glob.
It takes. Apparently, it takes.
It's not gonna be like the magnetic slime.
1 to 3 months to start seeing anything.
Oh, so it's 1 to 3 months to see.
When are you
anything?
doing it? Since you got your consultation, have
Tomorrow.
you scheduled?
Yeah,
oh,
tomorrow.
you're doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, I went for the
that's
consultation on Monday, and I was like,
Dang.
and they're like, oh, we have a cancellation on Thursday if you want to come in. I'm like, okay. I was just like, yep.
I guess the price pretty accurate. I was like, all right. Spot's like, how much do you think it's gonna be?
It's
And my guess was, I was like, well,
$2,000.
yeah. I said, well, cosmetic work is probably close to 10. All these little like I would say like little cosmetic like facials and massages and all these things are hundreds. So I'm like, I bet you this thing's $2,000. And I was
It's specific. It's 2,400, so it's 600 per applicator, and I'm having 4 applicators.
And you're getting some Botox, right? A Botox
I'm not
session?
getting any fillers, anything. I'm not into that. I'm not into like changing my appearance like that.
No.
I heard you're
more
bleaching your butthole.
about
It's like the package deal.
just because I have like when I put shorts on or whatever, I have a little goo hanging over, a little muffin top, a little spare tire. But
honestly,
I've
man,
worked.
You've worked so hard, you deserve it. That's me genuinely saying that. You've worked very hard. You deserve to feel your best. Have you ever had any type of procedure done?
No.
I'm not talking about like a cosmetic. Like I had you know how you guys just make fun of me because I'd be like, my sunspot. I had like skin, like I guess like skin discoloration on my like cheek.
Sunspot.
No, but like I got like a facial and they're like, yeah, I'd recommend this. And it was some laser. It felt like a rubber band was fucking hitting my face. Zap, zap, zap. And it turns into a scar, a scab, falls off and it's fresh skin underneath. But I've had those things done. But
That's
never,
when I called you Rumple Fresh Skin. Remember?
Yeah.
Rumple Fresh Skin.
They've sawed my chest in half and played around with my heart. So anything else is just gravy. Literally.
Your mom chimed in, by the way, and said she has no problem with Gracie doing something like that.
I know, but I could tell she felt awkward about it because she was trying to justify like spending money on something like that, or she shouldn't care so much about that kind of stuff. But I'm like, you look great. That's great. Like you should.
You know me. I naturally embrace my aging. Never do I ever plan to get like fillers or.
I don't embrace that shit at all. I'm gonna let you know straight up. I don't embrace that. Aging sucks.
Hair plugs or any of that.
You see my balls, how wrinkly they are.
I want to feel
the only thing I'm embracing.
A little more confident in my body.
Good, Spot. That's awesome. I can't wait for the update.
I just hope it doesn't take me down a path now where I am that person.
Sunspot's plastic eye. You know that plastic eye? It looks like a doll. What if you become him? What if you get addicted to it? People get addicted to it. All of a sudden, Spot's like, kissy face guy.
All right.
You
So
look like,
thank you. Thank you, Giovanni. He says, my sisters are gorgeous.
I can't even do a flat head.
Spot, take all those wrinkles out of your forehead.
Right?
I don't know, man. I don't like that Plastic Man comedy adventure show look. So you could benefit from it.
Spot, why don't you ask Patty Stanger what you did? You can come back here and look like a Kardashian.
You gotta do everything with, like, there's gonna be a point in time where guys like Mario Lopez, who I have to imagine he's done something to maintain, start to look weird. Like Simon Cowell announced the other day, like
he's done.
Yeah, he's done. He's starting to look weird. He's done with that kind of stuff. Not easy.
You know what I thought about doing, but
getting old sucks.
Some people think it's unhealthy, so I never did it. But I've contemplated a colonic. because that's simply just flushing out your system. But some people say you lose all your good bacteria as well. But I've had a Kid Kelly who we used to work with did it. He's like, Dickie, I lost like pounds of just like he's like, there's sludge in you, in your passageways.
He shit out the swamp thing.
So I wanted to do.
I want to shit out the swamp.
I'll be honest. The idea of a tube of hot water spraying up your ass and getting all the stuff out.
They pull it out like hair, like a drain, and they just keep pulling it out. What is this?
They put a snake in there. They pull out a big thing of hair.
I bought an infomercial thing with a crank, like a snake with a little crank.
Gut bacteria is something I wouldn't want to mess with.
That's why I didn't do it. But honestly, if you do a colonic spot, you will lose 5+ pounds of sludge immediately. But you know what they say? Sometimes there's good bacteria in your system, and you don't want to. If you're a healthy person, perhaps you don't want to mess with what's working, right?
Right. Like my sister-in-law took an antibiotic, and antibiotics will kill your gut bacteria. She had to go on this like super strict diet to ease back into reality for like 3 years. I swear to God, 3 years. It took her to get back to normal.
Really?
Still
wow.
Because it gave her like severe intestinal issues, all this shit because it killed off her gut bacteria, the antibiotic. So it takes a while. You need that. It's very important. So that's why colonics scare me.
Growing old gracefully is a lot of work, man.
Lips are funny for women too, because lips are not something that stays. Sarah did her lips once for something. I forgot what it was, and it like fades away. It's just they're just pumping. They're just putting a needle in your lip and it plumps it up, but it goes away. But if it's too much, you're like. That's why when you see some girls that are like, that's too much. But yeah, I'm not opposed to people bettering themselves and doing little tricks of the trade. I don't think beautiful women in their 20s and 30s should be going under the knife, though. No. I think women, my wife will tell you, though, the opposite.
They're the first to tell you that it's preventative, isn't it?
Sarah will be the first to tell you, like, you got to slowly start doing these things younger. Otherwise, if you think you're going to be 50 and then be like, let me do something now, that's when you look like a weirdo.
Right. Like, just say, you should tell Melody to start using, like, face creams and skincare because
think of her mom. You don't think she does?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You do it before you get old, and it maintains your.
You do it sooner. You do it sooner than later if that's what you're trying to do.
If I can only go back to my teenage self, I wouldn't look like a catcher's mitt today.
Yeah.
Carrie Kuhneman says lips stretch and eventually don't go back to normal.
Yeah.
So it's not like it just
be careful
bounces
with your lips.
right back.
Which lips are we talking about?
But again, we're talking aging. Was I talking to you about it? I'm
Same
like,
with your butt.
Sucks. There's so much pressure on trying to maintain, man.
For who? Men or women?
Everybody.
I don't think there's pressure on men at all. Men get older, it's like, hey, looks good. Like women, I feel terrible for him.
If you're a guy who calls himself Handsome Gabe, and in his defense, he never called himself that. We called him that.
Oh, I talked to him about that once.
When you're known as Handsome Gabe, there's going to be pressure.
The other day, I talked to him.
Or if you even had a reputation of being he was a good-looking guy in his 20s, 30s, there's that pressure of trying to maintain.
I said, you're lucky you're handsome, Gabe. And he goes, because we're going to see him in a few weeks. And he said, yeah, I'm headed to the gym with my kid. He goes, yeah, like, call me Handsome Gabe. I can't, I can't be gross.
You like look at your significant other and you're like, even when we're 80 years old and wrinkly and gray, I'm still going to look at you with love. I'm still going to look at Gabe for the rest of his life as handsome.
He'll be an old wrinkly guy and he's Handsome Gabe.
Yeah.
Spot.
I'll always be handsome.
Do you guys remember, this happens every time, by the way. My wife, when she gets her eyebrows done, I've seen this on TikTok, so I know it's not just her. Day one of when a woman gets her eyebrows done,
she looks like a chola.
It always looks...
She's like The Rock?
It always looks dark, and then it takes, I guess, a shower and a face wash or something to do. But when they first tint your eyebrows and stuff...
If you smell...
Oh, day one, I'm always like, Sarah, you look like the woman from fucking Austin Powers. But every single time. Like big-ass eyebrows. I'm like, Sarah, it's terrible.
She gets them like painted on, like that thing?
Well, not painted. They get them tinted.
Yeah, tinted, whatever. Yeah, that's a terrible
painted.
look.
No paint.
That's I can't stand that look. I don't. Not Sarah. Sarah's beautiful. I'm just saying when it's overly done.
On day one when she gets it until it.
Do you mean dodgeball?
Or isn't Frau in Austin Powers?
Frau Farbissina? No.
Yeah.
No, that's not Austin Powers.
No.
I mean, there is a Frau Farbissina, but she doesn't have big eyebrows.
Yeah, you're thinking of the woman in dodgeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll keep you posted on spot.
I'm due for a facial. Insert joke here. I used to do that shit just as a dude to maintain, like every so often. I'd find a Groupon for like $50. Remember you guys used to make fun of me? Microdermabrasions.
Let's go get triple facials.
I would
Triplet facials.
Isn't there a category for that? But yeah, no, honestly, think about it. So many people have probably not done anything over the last 2 years of their life because of COVID.
Gang facials?
Like think of things you used to do, Covino, just to like maintain or be yourself.
Get my eyebrows threaded. I got that done a few times for ESPN.
Yeah, me too. Haven't touched my eyebrows in 2.5 years. I do it myself. A little touch up on the top and bottom. Looks
I need
fine,
some Persian lady breathing over me. I don't know where she's been.
She had fucking...
now I got the COVID again.
She had shawarma for lunch.
I noticed at the restaurant yesterday when the girl was telling us, we got this sauce, the green goddess, and this one's the teriyaki, this one's the yellow curry. Every time she was talking to us, that she's talking over the salad, and I'm like, and I'm thinking Jordan's thinking it. She didn't realize it though. But
your mom's mentioned that the Covino and the Zupico jeans are on the money. What kind of jeans you guys wear?
Oh, Levi's.
Levi's? Oh, Levi's. Okay.
Levi's.
Levi's.
Your family does have great genetics. Your sisters all are going to look like they're 20-something when they're 40-something. They just got that look. Some people have it. Facials with extractions are the worst. Oh, when they fucking pull out the blackheads.
If you ask my mom,
good,
if I told my mom,
yeah,
give me I'm making this up. Barry's mom. Yeah. Oh, Barry's mom she got a facelift.
What does she think she is?
There's no way my mom would do that. I don't think she should feel any shame in doing that.
Yeah.
But there's no way that she would do something like that. And I think she should. I'm not saying she needs it. I'm saying I think that in today's world especially, like everybody grows old gracefully, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It is. It sucks, man. I hate it. I hate getting old, bro. It bothers me a lot. So remember you asked the question, you posed the question before, like, what's really on your mind?
Looking old.
It's always in the back of my mind.
Feeling old.
Yeah, I hate it. Dude, it's the weakest.
Well, I told Sarah last night, it must be a coming of age thing, and maybe the pandemic.
I hate it.
The pandemic is really kicking in now, where I feel like we really
try to
lost.
distract myself from that.
I said to Sarah, I think maybe the pandemic really kicked in now, where I realized, man, we lost I didn't. I still traveled a bit and did what I needed to do, but I was like, we really lost 2 years. I'm like, I'm 42. I feel like you guys celebrated and gave me remember when you guys were at my 40th surprise party? Like, I feel like from then till now, I feel like it was like wasted time.
My 40th was during the pandemic.
Yeah, I just feel like we really just lost a little chunk of our lives where and based on even out here, it seems, society's ending, acting like COVID's over, which means it is just a chapter of our lives in the past now that we're going to look back and be like, yeah, we lost a couple years. Remember that?
Sucks.
Career got sidetracked. You didn't see your family for a couple of years. Remember that?
Yeah, fucking trust me, man. I think we're all going to look back and hate it. So I was on World Star the other day.
World Star.
Which is primarily
fights,
an urban sort of social media account and lifestyle brand. Somehow, get this, true story. Dude from World Star dove into my DMs. I forget why. And the dude who runs it was like, I'm such a fan. I heard you. Oh, I mentioned some shit that I saw on World Star and Turbo.
Yeah.
I was like, man, World Star. I saw this thing where I'm on Turbo on Sirius XM talking about it. Guy from World Star is like, I listen to you every night, man. I think you're hilarious. I'm a big fan. I'm like, that's cool, dude. World Star followed me. I followed them. And
I think you got a handful of followers because of that, because I saw you and I had similar Instagram numbers.
I'm sure.
You post way more than I do, but I saw you grabbed a couple thousand quick, I think, because you're in the Covino's like the brother now.
But I also noticed that every time I chime in, remember I got that blue cheek mark, right? Every time I comment or leave a comment,
it goes to the top.
It goes to the top, and there's more followers. People notice it. So I'm like, every once in a while, if I say something, sure. But I don't force it. Like, I say some shit that I really mean. I'm not just trying to do it because I'm thirsty for followers. I'm rarely on it, but every once in a while, I have to speak my mind. And they pose questions that are like right in our wheelhouse. And guess what? They listen. So
They listening.
I'm not saying that they get some of this inspiration from us, but it's kind of possible. Like the other day, we were talking about, remember I was saying, what's more important to you, followers or money? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was very controversial. That day, you know what they're like? Would you rather have Bitcoin, followers,
Or money.
or money?
Yeah.
Like that, you know, they pose these questions like, we were just talking about that. Hey, are we all on the same train track of life? Yeah. Is it coincidence? Maybe. So they posed a question yesterday, and the question was on their social media page, can you live off of $10,000 a month? I'm like, World Star. Can y'all live off of $10,000 a month? So I chimed in immediately. You can see right what I said in the bottom spot. If you can't, you better cut back. So, dude, I started getting a little backlash on that one. And what I was amazed to see, though, was the majority of the feedback.
No, but Spot, the World Star has the horn. I'm on Goon Star, and they go, meet.
Goon Star.
Goon Star.
Yeah,
No, Rich is on Brown Star.
I'm on Brown Star.
There it is.
Yo, the best comment I got before I tell you my theory on this, I want you guys to think about that. Can you survive on $10,000 a month? The best feedback I got was from this
Brown Star
jerk off named Rob, right? Rob says,
What kind of name is Rob?
He says, LOL, relax, Prince of Dubai. He calls me Prince of Dubai because I'm sitting there like, yes, very lavish.
Wait.
He goes,
because your profile picture is you like,
I don't know. He goes, relax, Prince of Dubai.
Oh,
Nobody asked you, radio host.
That's fantastic.
I responded immediately to that jerk off.
Oh,
I said,
hold on.
Prince of Dubai.
that is funny, though.
That's going to get you mad now. Yeah, Prince of Dubai.
I said,
What got you more mad?
I
That
said
or your...
Dubai, and then I wrote dunce in all caps. I'm like, dunce. First off, it was an open question from an account that I follow and that follows me. If anything, no one asked for your response on my page. No wonder you can't balance a checking account.
All right, Prince of Dubai.
Oh, Prince of Dubai.
What does he mean by prince?
Can we see
What
the
does
prince?
he mean of Prince of Dubai?
Click on the profile. Let's see what he means. Go to Steve Covino's profile picture. He probably looks at you.
Oh, he does look like the Prince of Dubai. It's
You
that
have to
photo
scroll
of him.
down.
It's the
It's that-
photo of him.
Yeah, you have to scroll down. It's that one to be sitting there.
This
There it
one.
is. There it is.
All right, Prince of Dubai.
Prince of Dubai.
Prince of Dubai? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm
Prince of
very wealthy.
That shit is funny as hell, though. But then he looked up enough. He looked up enough to realize I'm a radio host, but not that I wasn't from Dubai.
And also, the
But hold
picture
on.
next to the picture next to your Dubai photo is one of you working at Bennigan's.
Yeah. Fuck off, these jerk offs, right? So anyway,
So wait, was it?
my question or my thought was after I saw this question post on WorldStar, can y'all live off of $10,000 a month? I'm like, yeah, obviously. You know what people were saying back to me too? Yeah, you don't live in LA. I'm like, just so happens I do. Oh no, you don't live in California. I'm like, no, I do. In Los Angeles. And if you can't live off of $10,000 a month, then you're doing something wrong. You know how else I know that? Because I've been there.
So 10,000.
I'm also a guy that got into crazy amounts of debt because I was allowing someone else to live a lifestyle that I was not okay with.
$10,000 a month is $120,000 a year.
Okay, so I did the easy breezy math. $120,000 a year
Is what?
can you live off of?
Wait,
$10,000 a month times 12.
Net?
$120,000 a month.
No.
$120,000 a year. Yes.
10 times 12, Rich.
$120,000.
Oh, you're talking. Is this guy talking before or after taxes? Because that's a big difference.
It's just a question.
No, it's like it's the dumb Stanley T.
Doesn't matter.
No,
Net
it
or
is
gross?
no.
Net or gross, I think
It
you're
is
fine.
the dumb Stanley
Net
T.
or gross,
Then
you
you-
can
then
live off $120,000
You have
a
to
year.
cut back is what I
Because
said.
I live off less.
Yo, so exactly. So I'm like, all right, this question is right in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to say something.
I don't
Bro,
think you can.
The overwhelming
You can't buy
response.
a million. You can't. Pay
You'd
the
want
mortgage
to,
on a $1
bro.
million
You want
house.
to. You know how you want to just want to. You know how you say you got a feeling of Donnie Pompidou, and even though you don't really know him, but you know who he is. Yeah. I wanted to strangle everybody based on their feedback on this post because the majority of the feedback was, yeah, right. Like, no, not even close. It's like, first of all, I doubt you're even making $10,000 a month. Second of all, you need to fucking know how to live a proper lifestyle then. And I could say that because I have made these mistakes. Yes, I've been in debt.
All right, think about it.
It's ridiculous. This is the problem with the world. Am I going to get all mad about it? No. I realized the other day, I get so passionate and I'm getting angry about things that I don't care. You want to be a jerk off? Go right ahead. Be a jerk off. I don't care. You don't think you could survive on $10,000 a month? You're the problem. You're the problem.
You could get a 1-bedroom, let's say, for between, let's be like super conservative and say $2,500 a month in LA.
Yeah.
If you wanted to live in like a decent neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's $2,500 a month.
In LA.
Let's say you have a car payment. Your car payment, $300 a month. Insurance, an extra $200. So that's $500. So now you're up to three grand. Groceries, let's say for one person, $100 a week. So that's let's say $500. Let's be really generous. So now you're up to $3,500. Bills, let's say another $1,000 a month on like.
But again, Spot, this
internet,
all
gas,
goes back to
electric,
the conversation we had
phone,
last week.
All that shit.
About all these baby bitches complaining about not being able to survive and nothing's adding up right. It's like, you can't survive on $10,000 a month.
$100 a week.
Then you're doing something wrong, man. You're living beyond your means. Does the younger generation not understand? And again, I could say this because I lived beyond my means. I've made this mistake.
Okay.
You are living beyond your means if you can't survive on $10,000 a month, even if you got kids. There's something wrong with the way you're spending and the way you're living and where you're living. If you can't, and I can, in Los Angeles, and they're coming at me like I have no perspective. I'm like, I have every perspective. I grew up in New Jersey. I know what it's like to live in Manhattan.
You lived in Dubai?
I'm the Prince of Dubai. I've been in lots of debt before. So like, and I got to say, the overwhelming response from this thread, thousands of people.
It's broke people that are dumb.
And my reaction to that was, you're not even making $10,000 a month, and you're overspending. And that's your problem. Stop blaming the economy. Stop blaming minimum wages. Stop blaming everyone and blame yourself for living like an asshole, for not knowing how to manage a checkbook. No one wants to hear the truth. It's right there in the figgy pudding that Rich is growing in his backyard.
So let's say you're living with someone else and you only have 10 grand coming in. Still can make it doable.
You still could
let's say
do
you have
it.
a family. Still can make it doable.
Dude, move out of California.
Like let's say it's another $1,000 per kid.
But all these young people think they can't, and they're acting like they can't, and they don't. I'm like, what planet am I on? I just don't understand it. But instead of like pulling my hair out, I gotta let people know that I come here and I'm on the air and I express myself and I come across frustrated. I watch back. I see how frustrated I look and how passionate I get. Yo, man, fuck everybody. You want to be a jerk off, not working, and complaining that you can't live on $10,000 a month, $10,000? Then go fucking live your miserable life and complain. I don't care. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make my money, and I'm gonna stretch out that $10,000 as far as I could.
I have
like
perspective.
Like my beanbag. I pull it right up to my nose.
I have perspective.
Beanbag.
Want me to give you the truth? Rich Davis, how are you? I have elite perspective. In fact, there may be no human being with more perspective than this guy right here.
Who knew you were so elite?
I have elite perspective on this conversation. And I'll tell you why. Because I balance my family's budget. But guess whose budget I also balance? My mom's. So I know the minimum and the maximum of what people could spend to get by versus living a nicer lifestyle in a big city. I've seen it all. I know, like I could give you the math. My mom, right? Let's do the math, Spock. Can you break out your TI-82? Sure. Let's break out the TI-82. My mom makes $1,000 a month with her Social Security, right? I'll give you all the personal details. I don't even care.
That's $12,000 a year, Rich.
No. Well, no, I'm doing monthly because this person said a month.
Okay.
My mom gets $1,000.
$1,000.
Social Security. She's going to be working 30 hours a week at Lowe's.
30 hours.
Making $15 an hour.
30 times 15 is
450
times
4
is 2,000. No,
1,800.
Sorry.
My mom gets Medicare, so she doesn't have to pay health insurance. So what would you say? She'll out of the 1,800 times 0.25, 450. Let's say she walks away with what? $1,400 a month?
Sure.
$1,400.
So now we're up to $2,400.
So my mom's got $2,400 a month. And this is a mom working 30 hours a week at Lowe's. So let's say roughly she makes $2,500. Let's round it. $2,500 a month. Her rent $1,100. So now my mom's got $1,400, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cell phone bill, other bills, let's say $300 a month. Now she's down to $1,100.
Car payment? Did you say car?
She does not have a car payment
Okay.
yet. So $1,100 a month. And that's after
Rich's
after
mom,
bills, right?
Rich's mom rides a Vespa.
So now let's say my mom bargain shops for herself, right? Bargain shops for herself. $200 a month in groceries, right?
Yeah.
Now she's down to $900 a month.
What'd she do with that 900?
That's what I'm saying. Goes out for a dinner here or there, buys herself a new shirt. You can get by on very little.
This guy on my replies, he goes, "Shit, I live off of $3,000 a month." But the overwhelming response, dude, and again, it's just like a little glimpse into the reality was, yeah, right. You crazy? 10,000? I can't. No, I can't survive off of 10,000. You can't survive. I give you the eye roll emoji followed by the clown because you're a clown. You think you can't survive on $10,000 a month.
Dude.
Clown. You know how to piss off the world star audience? Just drop a little clown. I'm telling you, it works. It works.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at the perspective of a single.
By the way, that was elite perspective. By the way,
it was because I'm saying,
and that's coming from the Prince of Dubai.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not going to get the thumbs up from the Prince of Dubai, it wouldn't have made sense. But look.
By the way, I know what to get Marianne now when she comes to visit.
Vespa. She should ride a Vespa.
This little Vespa cover.
But I like the dual one for her.
Spot,
and Butch.
did you just hear me? Did you hear me break down?
Yes, dude.
My
that's
mom's
why.
Like my
but
mom. My mom's net. My mom's
bigger problem is younger people thinking that they can't because they have these expectations of entitlement that they need to do this, they need to do that. You can't survive on 10,000. You're an idiot.
My mom's net a month will be $2,500 as a single, and that's without Butch helping out and working. Right? That's just, and who knows what's going to happen there. But my mom alone. $2,500 a month will be able to get by. It's thin margins, but my mom will be able to easily get by on $2,500 a month if she works 30 hours a week, right? Now, add a couple kids living in Los Angeles. My budgets are completely different. But when you're talking about the national average, my mom just is in South Carolina right now, right? She told me she sees rents for $700 and people live a way different lifestyle. I saw some guy on our...
Why did she move there?
She hates it.
Oh, really?
She doesn't hate it. She's having fun with her family, but my mom's like...
I mean, she's a New York
the nearest store is 20 minutes away, and they're like in the middle of nowhere. And
where does she think she's going to move? To a shopping center?
She's going to live like a mile away from like a shopping center, yeah.
20 minutes away. Nice drive.
She's moving to Marianne Land.
That would be like Spot. Every time you wanted to go to, instead of going to Ralph's, walking 2 blocks from your house, that would be like you having to drive to my house to go to the supermarket.
I guess you're right.
It's a pain in the ass. But point is, anyone that says they can't live on $10,000 a month
rural living
is
young people.
Full of shit.
Young people on World Star and the Prince of Dubai. Think of the audience.
If I needed
and I'm not talking race or ethnicity here. I'm saying they're younger people. Like, this is how they feel because they're like, no, I got to do this. I got to go to Tulum. I got to fucking buy new sneakers. I got to buy clothes. I got to afford my fucking, cell phone
Prince
plan.
of Dubai. Come on. If I need, by the way, if I needed to.
You know what's funny though? If you don't know me, I look at me and I'm thinking like, yeah, I look like a Latino dude, right? I could be vaguely anything.
You do look like the Prince of Dubai.
But now, like, his impression was,
you look Persian.
Now when I see that, I'm like, this guy thinks I'm the Prince of Dubai.
You look Middle Eastern. You're the Prince of Dubai.
You know what? Think about it this way.
Look at your caption. The fire burns inside. Thinking about all the ass you're going to kick in 2020.
The fire burns inside while I'm here in Dubai.
There's no fire in the fireplace.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, the fire. I get it now. Man.
Get it?
Man, the way your mind thinks.
But
Yeah,
$10,000.
My mom always said I was a special boy. Now I know what she means.
$10,000 a month.
It's a shame.
$10,000 a month if you live in New York.
This wasn't your profile pic.
Yeah, what would you have said? All right, midget in Idaho.
All right, potato boy.
That's a good one. Potato boy.
All right, shrinking with Abe Lincoln. Shrinking with Abe Lincoln.
Shrinking Lincoln. But no, honestly, $10,000 a month in a major city, you could easily get by there too, even with kids. Okay, little midget on a chair.
All right, little person.
All right, Mexican midget. What do you know?
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mentioned it, Prince of Dubai is definitely. I'll take that one.
Prince of Dubai.
Bro, it's a bigger question because it addresses the problem we talked about earlier this week, where everyone's crying about minimum wage and things like that.
Yeah.
We were talking about work ethic.
It's such
and
a
survival.
Why pointing at your head?
Yankees.
No, you're not pointing at Logan. You're pointing at your head.
Head detective.
Okay, head detective.
Okay, Dubai radio guy.
So anyway, that was just my question I'm posing to you guys.
You know what this ties into, Cove, though?
Courtesy of World Star, I got to give props where it's due.
It ties into something I was telling Spot that's so aggravating when you look on the Carl's page. I think you and I had a great conversation the other day, and I think we agree on 90% of people don't want to work if they're not paid the right way. But then again, people have terrible work ethic. So it's like a combination of all these. I think we're all right in that conversation, to be honest. No one wants to work for a boss that doesn't appreciate them with no upward movement and terrible wage. But at the same time, shitty work ethic is a major problem. So we talked about this the other day.
And it's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So beat it then. Find another job.
We talked about this the other day in depth. You could hear it on demand. I'm sure you already have. But every time I see someone talk about I disagree. I own 2 houses and did this by the time I was 26. And it's always someone
Who lives in the middle of nowhere.
who lives in the middle of nowhere.
I knew you were going to say what I was saying.
No, but it's I get it. And good for them and the lifestyle they chose. But when you talk about perspective or even empathy, when you think about other people, you can't. That would be like someone in New York thinking that, isn't rent $5,000 at least everywhere? No, it's not. Just how unaware of you to think that houses around the country are all $200,000. Someone asked him, hey, how much was your house? You bought these houses when you were in your 20s? He's like, yeah, I got it for $200,000. $200,000. That's down payment for a house is more than that here.
He's not lying.
So it's
that. That's factual.
So when someone says that, it's
should have shown him this pic.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, relax, turtle clown.
Yeah. No one asked for your opinion, turtle. Turtle clown.
Nobody asked for your opinion, turtle boy. Go back in your shell, nerdle the turtle boy. What do you mean no one asked for my opinion? It's a question posed to the public. I'm not allowed to comment.
Get back in your shell, jerk off.
Guy was trolling, in my opinion. He just wanted my feedback.
So anyway, I find that type of shit interesting when it's perspective, right, Spot? When
of course,
when someone goes, yeah, well, what's the problem? Kids these days, and I bought 2 houses when I was 24. It's
I could own
how much are the houses?
I could own 10 houses in Texas right now if I wanted to.
Spot, you're cool. Guess what, Spot? Your cool sculpting was that guy's down payment.
But I can barely afford a fucking 2-bedroom apartment in LA. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jen Brown. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys.
Downtown Jim Brown?
Downtown Jim Brown. Oh. Thank you. Alex Berman. Say hi to Thurman. Appreciate you.
And
Sherman.
Sherman and Thurman and Alex Berman?
Yeah.
The whole Berman family?
I heard you and him are going to do a podcast called The Motor Mouths. Is that true? It's cars and racing?
He just talks about
With
cars
Rich
and racing,
Alex?
and I just start talking nonstop like I do.
Yeah. Coming soon. So let's get into the rando news because I think it might spawn a few deep thoughts from Rich. We'll see.
Ooh.
Let's get some rando news of the day.
Oh, let's do it.
Not a lot. Unless, Rich, you got something to add. Hey, Hump Day. Woo! April 13th.
Oh, Hump Day. Are you Team Toby or Team Kate? That's the big thing on This Is Us. I got to catch up tonight. But last night was
I watched the Greek version.
Last night.
This is Gus.
This is Gus.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
It's way better. That Gus is a malaka.
This Is Us. Toby and Kate. We talked about this last week, but choosing career or family is like the whole trend in that episode.
Get to the news.
Go ahead. This is us.
I mean, that's not news. It sure
This is us. They have 6 episodes left.
Well,
Final season.
biggest story hit us yesterday after we paid a quick homage to him. Coincidentally, Gilbert Gottfried died. That's sad. 67. Really sucks. It really does. What?
Our childhood is slipping away.
That's exactly how I felt, especially when I saw that picture. Bob Saget, Louis Anderson, Gilbert Gottfried. There was a picture that was circulating. Jordyn showed me. And it was all of them with Jeffrey Ross. Like, is he next? I'm like, I hope not. He's from my hometown.
I saw that picture. That was the other one. Remember I said there was another one?
And Norm Macdonald. And Norm Macdonald was there.
It was Norm,
Yeah.
Saget,
And like Gilbert
Gottfried, and I saw that picture.
I don't know.
Like, they're all dead.
Who's the green sleeve?
That's Jeffrey Ross.
Oh.
So the people are like, is he next? I'm like, I hope not. Jeffrey Ross from Union, New Jersey.
Great.
All right, so Gilbert sucks. Got that news yesterday. Talked about it earlier. Hey, Rich, what do you think about fake love on social media? We've talked about this, man. Like, Gilbert dies, and everyone's like, I was the biggest Gilbert fan. Like, dude, I never heard you mention Gilbert Gottfried. You're just jumping on the fucking, I want to be part of this bandwagon. It's weird.
Sympathy, group sympathy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about group sympathy because there was a part of me that resisted. Like, I now resist posting the photo, but I'm not sure if I should because we're media. We're sort of in that world. Like, everyone you know.
There's a weird feeling about it.
I don't know. I stopped doing that.
Well, guess what?
I mean,
this is courtesy of BET. I'm all about the gossip, World Star, BET. Find my stories from random places. Master P speaks on Nipsey Hussle, and he says, stop with the fake love. I just think in our culture, it's just natural that people just self-hate, he said. So there's sort of more to it, Spot, if you want to pull it up. Hip-hop mogul Master P has a few words for folks regarding the late Nipsey Hussle, telling Hip-Hop DX how frustrated he is with the lack of support the legend received while he was alive. Now he's dead, and everyone's like, yeah, Nipsey Hussle, painting murals. He did so much. He was the best. Oh, wow. Right? And if I'm not mistaken, BET was also, or some, like he was being given some sort of award, or they were going to honor Nipsey Hussle. And it's like, man, this is so self-serving. Yeah. This is so self-serving. You didn't care about Nipsey Hussle. So he's saying he's calling it fake love.
It just makes you look like you're a pillar of the black community now by like stepping up. And it's like, yeah, I get what he's saying.
No Limit Records co-founder gave Hussle his flowers in the interview, recalling how much work Victory Lap musician put in for his Grammy nomination on a debut album. He put the same record that sold millions of copies, only sold 50,000 when he was alive, and he couldn't get it.
Yeah,
Master PB. So yeah, I think he started getting nominated for stuff. Why? And it's like so forced, and like you could smell it from a mile away, but people pretend like they don't.
Yeah,
are people like really that full of their own shit that they can't see how fake and forced this shit looks sometimes?
I think people want to. I think people crave the group. That not group think, that group mourning. Like, hey, we lost this person, and everyone like
it's self-serving, bro.
Yeah, it's self. No, it is.
Now he's nominated. Because what, you want to be on the right side of this story? You didn't give a fuck, and now you're pretending like you did.
What is it called when?
So weak.
What is it called after someone dies? Posthumous. I always find that funny with artwork as well, but I mean, I guess that means they've done all they've done. There's no more coming, but it is pretty wild to think that after death, he gets popular. Sort of wild to me. And I agree, there is some type of like weird group mourning where
he's saying, and then in a nutshell, what he's saying is, in regards to an album too, he goes that he can't figure it out, that it's the same album, that only sold like 50,000 copies. All of a sudden, is like being nominated for all this stuff and selling millions. And I get it. It grabs people's attention. I understand. But he's saying it's fake love. Fake love. And save your nominations. Shove it up your ass. And stop using this guy as a way to be like, yeah, man, I love Nipsey Hussle, just to like appease whoever it is you're trying to appease.
Right.
That's sort of sad.
And maybe black people. Let's say you're a white guy. Like, yeah, man, Nipsey Hussle. I'm going to post that on my social media page. Look at this. Just you never gave a shit. So don't try to fucking look like you did.
Right.
And I sniffed this out like a hound dog. And everyone else pretends like they don't.
Like things, like certain celebrity deaths make me go, oh.
Of course, Spot.
Like, we just showed like Gilbert Gottfried. I was like, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. No offense. Bob Saget hit a little harder. Grew up watching Full House. Yeah. Has been on our show. Met him in person. Hit a little bit harder. Betty White. I'm the biggest fan of the Golden Girls. That's something like that.
Okay.
Hit really hard to me.
You know what hit me a little harder, but I wasn't going to post all about it. Like the Razor Ramon thing bummed me out because I was a big wrestling fan growing up, and Razor Ramon was awesome.
You're allowed, even for these celebrities, you're allowed to feel a little something. But getting on the bandwagon and being like, when you've never said a word about this person in your life, that's what I think you're talking about. And I think
many people like capitalize to again for their own gain and their own benefit.
I don't know if it's about gain. I think it's they want.
Dude.
No.
If someone's nominating Nipsey Hussle,
okay,
they're just trying to act like they're the good guys in the story. They would have never nominated him before.
I'm talking about the general. I'm not talking about like the Board of Music nominating him. I'm talking regular people. I think it's they want to be included. They want to be included in the social media conversation. So if they're like, man, rest in peace, blank. That's their way of saying like, I'm involved there. See, everyone, I'm mourning too. Let's talk about it. Like they want to be included in the mourning process. Don't you feel that?
We're using, yes, but it's not about you. We're using Nipsey Hussle as the example because that's the story, right? But we see this with lots of things. Master P says something about like, I was watching this guy's funeral at the Staples Center. He would have never, ever would have assumed his funeral would have been at the Staples Center. He didn't know he had that type of love. Let's be honest. He was still in Englewood and Crenshaw trying to figure it out. People would tell him, well, I don't think that you got it. What happened? It's the same album that people love now. So then what happened?
Yeah.
The dude went from 50,000 where no one gave a shit about him. All of a sudden, everybody loves him. Fake love.
Yeah.
Fake love to benefit you, to make you look like you're the guy who cares, to make it look like you're the organization that was always behind him,
and
make it look like, oh, yeah, I love fucking black people or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, but it's fake.
But the thing is, when you're full of shit. So just answer, it can end with this. Know when you're full of shit and don't do it.
Yeah, but it's something that you see a lot.
Bob Saget upset me very much. Taylor Hawkins, that upset me. Not the way it upset Covino.
True.
But I
was like,
except Razor Ramon. That was a bummer. You know what really hurt? A couple of years ago, probably just because he's our age and he was a legend. Kobe Bryant did hurt.
But these are
these
are people.
But it's a bigger picture thing.
But these are people that we acknowledged and celebrated in life. So if out of nowhere, like you said yesterday, we started the show talking about Gilbert Gottfried. If we had never mentioned him or talked about him in the 20-year history of the show, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, Gilbert Gottfried is our favorite comedian.
It's fine. You know what, though? The crazy part is we've talked to Gilbert Gottfried 3 more times than most people have ever talked to him in their life. Like, I'm not saying we're not mourning. We're like, man, that really stinks. But I'm saying people are mourning that never even met the guy, that are just trying to get some type of social media bonding over grief. That's it. I agree. The end.
Master P taking an unpopular opinion.
Spot's going to take a Master P after his fat burning tomorrow.
That's the Master P.
Tomorrow you're going to burn that fat away. You're going to pee that fat away tomorrow.
When I read that article about Master P, I'm like, and by the way, I don't mean my brother who calls himself Master Pullout, Master P. Yeah. Not my brother.
Mom's listening.
Actual Master P. He's so right, man. And it's way beyond Nipsey Hussle. And you see so many major corporations getting behind things for their own gain, not for the real reasons. And it's kind of gross. That's how I feel about it. Fake love. It's called fake love, according to Master P. I'm all behind that because I notice it all the time. Millie Bobby Brown's in the news, dude, for a few reasons. I think she just turned 18, right? Yeah. By the way, how much does she look like that actress? It's crazy. Look up
which actress?
She looks like 2 actresses.
Keira Knightley?
She looks like the woman in. Dang, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name. But it's crazy how much.
Natalie Portman?
No, Natalie Portman.
Elizabeth Perkins? Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Halsey.
He's saying all things. He's saying all things that I agree with. Yeah, they all sort of look alike.
You know why?
Portman?
Yeah, they are so thin and they got that little cute face.
I typed in Millie Bobby Brown looks like, and these are all the ones that come up.
Yeah,
I'm drawing a blank on her name. I'll think of it.
Looks
But
like.
either way, Millie Bobby Brown.
Winona Ryder. Alyssa Milano. Judy Garland. Kate Beckinsale.
None of them.
Keira Knightley.
Nope.
Keira Knightley.
So
she does look like a young Natalie Portman. Elizabeth Perkins.
Elizabeth Perkins. Pull it up.
The woman from Big.
Yes. And she also looks like the woman from, is it the same? What woman is in that show where she played a nurse? It was on Netflix.
Nurse.
Remember?
Jackie.
Oh, man. Took place in like the 50s.
Oh, Sarah Paulson?
Yeah.
No.
Look it up.
Sarah Paulson has
Look
a
at
very
the side-by-sides.
strong chin.
Look at the side-by-sides. Genius. Lanny Poffo.
Oh, don't talk about Lenny Poffo.
How dare you?
Oh, Jesus. What did I just do?
No. There's
I want to meet Lenny Poffo next month.
nothing
You
similar.
have to look up the side-by-sides.
Nope.
Yeah, because those are the accurate photos we're talking about.
I mean, it's a side-by-side.
Okay, so anyway.
But you said
All right, well,
Millie
don't
Bobby Brown.
fight this. What's your point?
Millie Bobby Brown's in the news.
Let's not fight.
She's turned 18 and she's sort of appalled at the creepy reaction she's getting from
How dare you?
fans in the news.
Like, oh, you're 18.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
she's
that is
being
creepo.
Man, are people
over-sexualized.
people are so unaware.
18.
Like, be self-aware. Stop with your fake love and stop with your creepy shit.
I'm guilty of this. Like,
Come on, bro.
Like, I remember what was it recently? Oh, that girl in Cobra Kai. I'm like, how old is she again? Oh, okay. I can feel interested.
You're fucking gross, dude.
I am.
No, but it's true. It's like
Well, he's
you're
not posting it.
salivating at the moment she turns 18. Like that's just
the thing, though.
There's a difference.
Hey, she's legal, but to be creepy about it, like,
there's a
it's
difference.
creepy.
Spot said, "Ooh, that girl on Cobra Kai is good looking. Ooh, I hope she's 18, so I don't feel super creepy." He looked her up. Oh, she's like 22. Great.
I'm not judging Spot. I'm saying this,
you're
this
saying
story.
the people that are on social media, like, you're 18 now. Creepos. Miley and Taylor Swift got that same reaction back in the day, someone said.
Yeah, so she's like sort of appalled at the gross feedback she's getting now that she's 18.
And it's also, to me, it's much harder when you follow people from when they're children and then they get older. That's creepy to me. Then when you start getting that attraction once they reach 18, that means you saw them as attractive for years.
Yeah.
And we're now just waiting.
I mean, you
for
could
it to be
acknowledge
legal.
someone. If you want to be realistic about it, you could acknowledge that she's a cute little kid, and she's an attractive young woman.
She grew into an attractive young woman.
Now she's an adult, but again, you can imagine what people are sending her and saying about her. So
That's like Emma Watson. She was a child actress in Harry Potter, and then like as soon as she got of age, everyone was like, "Ah."
As Dave Attell used to say, barely legal means you're almost a pedophile.
Dave Attell. Oh, well, you brought him up. Dave Attell's a great comedian.
Dave Attell around, right?
Insomniac. Up all night. So there's also the new trailer of Stranger Things that's getting a lot of buzz. So that's why I brought up Millie Bobby Brown.
Season 4. So it's going to be in 2 parts. First one is May 27th, so probably Memorial Day weekend. And then there's the second part's in July.
So, and it
has to be the end.
It's getting a lot of great buzz. And yeah, she's 18 now,
They're
dude.
old, yeah.
That's crazy.
How old is she?
Yeah. I think,
18.
Dude, I think the black kid is like 20 now.
How old's the black kid?
Now 20.
No, but they started when they were little kids.
I know.
Right? So it's like, man. And speaking of trailers, I'm just saying this because this has nothing to do with Millie Bobby Brown.
No, you could live in one for less than $10,000 a month.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I live in a tiny house.
Trailers.
But I think I'm going to make my first trip to the movies.
I thought you were going to say
first
the
time.
moon. I thought you were going to say the moon. I swear to God.
I'm making my first trip to the moon.
Me too. I'm going this weekend.
For the first time in 3 years to see everything and everyone all at once.
Oh, good for you.
Because I'm hearing such great stuff about it, and I'm a big Short Round fan, and I'm hearing it's really great. And I feel like Melody would like it.
In 40X. I'm really excited about that.
Maybe I can, because I
weekend.
feel like that's also something my kid would like, and I'm interested to see it. It's that movie with Short Round. Ki Hui Kwan.
Top Gun 2 also coming out if you want to talk about movies. May 27th. Jim Ramsey pointing that out on our
Thanks,
feedback.
Jim.
But for all the Top Gun fans,
Jim, sorry to disappoint you. There's not another oiled up volleyball scene.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
oh man,
Sorry, Jim. I know you were looking forward to that.
man.
Sorry, Jim.
and the
Sorry,
last
buddy.
story for now. Cain Velasquez addressed his. Remember that crazy story about Cain Velasquez?
He murdered a guy, or tried to.
Shot a person that was
A molester.
molesting someone in his family. That was the story.
Did the person die or no?
To everyone, this is from Cain Velasquez, former UFC champ. To everyone that has expressed your support, my family and I will never be able to thank you enough. From the bottom of our hearts and the depths of our souls, we are forever grateful for your love. Your selfless gestures and kind words have given me strength in my darkest times. The story is complex, slowly unraveling as we speak. To the true victims of this case, may God give you strength to overcome and to come forward. Though it is most difficult to relive the pain that has happened to you in speaking the truth, justice will be served and your own healing will start. I will never stop helping or loving my community as all of you. And all of you, thank you for loving me. Cain Velasquez. Sorry, it's a small little tweet. But so many people were like, I would do the same thing. Because remember, he took justice into his own hands.
Yeah, vigilante.
Actually, he should have took it into his own hands and maybe not used a weapon. Because if I'm not mistaken, he shot the wrong person.
No one died, so perhaps it's a
Yeah, but now he's in a really bad situation.
He might go to prison.
Yes.
He might. But I think sentencing. I think he'll get a slap on the wrist. Maybe a year or so probation, get out quick. But you can't try to kill someone. But
He's charged with
he tried to
attempted
kill
murder
a molester.
in conjunction with
No,
alleged shooting in San Jose, California. Again, attempted murder.
No matter what, you can't take the law into your own hands. So he has to face some sort of consequence. And speaking of shooters, they detained the guy in the Brooklyn shooting.
I saw that.
Did he use? I saw Vinny in Brooklyn post something
Gas
like
mask.
James.
Did he use did he try to do some type of Batman getaway, like a smoke bomb, and get away?
There was
like
there
honestly,
was
Smoke. I don't know
like
if that
some
was
type
for the
of
getaway, but yeah, he did that.
Like they didn't get this guy right away. I don't know how they searched him down. That's really great work by the police, unless it was so obvious. But it seemed as though, from what I read, the spot to pinpoint the guy and get him like that, that's not easy.
Well, there's
Surveillance, I know, but
yeah.
I mean,
They tracked him back. They backtracked.
Terrible story, man.
Yeah, no one passed away though, right? No one died.
Last I heard, yeah.
I think so.
Well, that's
But
the
he
that's
was wearing a gas mask and like a construction worker jacket or something like that.
If a tragedy has to happen, one with no casualties is like,
So Cain Velasquez addressed the terrible scenario that he's in. And again, he did get so much
support.
of, I get it.
Because everyone said that. If someone
Yeah.
ever touched my kid, I'd fucking kill him. And he's like, well, guess what? Someone in my family, I tried to fucking kill him.
62 years old.
Who, the guy? Yeah.
The guy.
I know. I saw that. The guy in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he looks angry.
They tracked him using. He rented a U-Haul. Rode the subway for 2 hours before the attack. None were killed.
Thank God no one died.
10 people were injured, none killed. Apparently,
I thought 12 people.
Mayor Eric Adams says we got him.
Apparently, he's been posting crazy rants.
I can't say that without saying got him.
Got him.
That was the quote though. Got him.
That guy's name? Weldon?
Got him.
What's his name? Welvin the Great? What's his name?
So, dozens of unhinged videos on YouTube ranting about race, Eric Adams, the mayor, and prison. So, makes.
Yeah. How do you think you do in prison, Spot?
Me?
Yeah.
I told you, I'd when someone tries to rape me, I'll just rape them,
That's a good strategy.
or I'll bite their dick off.
All right. Well,
I don't know. It's
on that note, I'm gonna go check if my flowers started growing. They should be full bloomed, right? One day ago.
I've been hanging with
Dickie Brownthumb.
Dr. Brownthumb.
He's got gardenias.
All right, guys. Have a great Wednesday, April 13th.
Hit a lull in the conversation. You say, all right, see you later.
Man, you know who I really
Well,
Nipsey
time to
Hussle.
go.
You guys big fans like I was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the mural I got?
Yeah.
See my profile picture.
Yeah. Okay, Dubai Prince. All right. Prince of Dubai.
Turtle boy.
Turtle boy. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, have a great Wednesday. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.